Beautiful Planet Ford Stadium is the place to be for yet another edition of Texas High School football. We're in week 3 of the season, and we have a great one for you today on the Antler Sports Network. Beautiful Planet Ford Stadium is the place in Spring, Texas, and with us is a man very familiar with the city of Spring and all of Spring ISD. Not only is this a special occasion as we have 2 ranked teams going into tonight's game, but we have us probably one of the best Hispanic Texas High School Football Coaches Association games of the week in the history of the Antler Sports Network, as the 23rd ranked Spring Westfield Mustangs host the 2nd ranked North Shore Mustangs. Jared Jones at the broadcast booth with the president of the Hispanic Texas High School Football Coaches Association, Coach Armando Jacinto. Coach, it has been a minute since we've had the broadcast booth together, but it's a bit of a different stance for you. You're no longer the athletic director. How's the retirement life treating you, Coach?
Oh, it's going great. I've been able to spend more time with my family, with my wife, being able to go to other games I've been going to since the season started, other high school games around the area. Also been able to catch a lot of baseball on Major League, on the MLB network, and going to some college games also, and don't have an opportunity now to go to some pro games as a result of some of the people that I've coached and coached with that have afforded me those opportunities to now attend some pro games that normally while working wasn't able to do that. But I appreciate the opportunity and appreciate you having me.
Now, of course, as always, we do appreciate not only yourself but the entire Hispanic Texas High School Football Coaches Association. As both teams are coming on to the field, we are set to go for a clash of 2 absolute Titans. Now, Coach Jacinto, you're familiar with this Westfield team, but you're also familiar with this North Shore team. The Battle of the Mustangs, Battle of the Red, White, and Black, whatever you want to call it. I want to get your perspective on a personal level. What is it going to take for the Westfield Mustangs to pull off the top 25 W tonight?
Well, offensively, they're going to have to stay out of those long yardage situations and 2nd and long, 3rd and long, because even though they have a lot of good skilled people and a great offensive line, the quarterback is very inexperienced, and if you have to put the hands in this game, and it's not that you don't have the talent, just as lack of experience. And you're talking about the perennial state championship team or state championship qualifier, North Shore, who has a lot of experience. It'll be really tough. You need to keep him out of those situations as best as possible.
Now, this very quarterback you're speaking of, Coach, of course, for the Spring Westfield Mustangs, is a 6'1", 200-pound even junior, Mr. Miles Dent. Now, Dent and his Westfield Mustangs, currently sitting at a record of 1-1, led by head coach Matt Meekins, opened up this season with a 50-0 win on the road against Cypress Park over at FCU Cy-Fair Stadium. But last week got into a grit and grind battle, falling on the road to Fort Bend Hightower. Now, games like this could be one of 2 things. This could be a way to capitalize on your season, or also a way to eventually lead up to a playoff spot. As the national anthem is played, we're going to take a break. Back after this timeout, this is an Hispanic Texas High School Football Coaches Association Game of the Week on the Antler Sports Network, ASN2, and Antler Sports Network Radio.
It's Nathan LeMaster. I'm from Tyler, Texas, and here I have the Pill Puncher. This device, ladies and gentlemen, will help you get into pill packages very easily, sanitarily, and effectively. All you got to do is take the point, puncture the back, right there. Take the device, put it over the pill, like so, push it down, drops it into the reservoir, and there you go, folks. Why make this harder on yourselves? Save your fingers and get your Pill Puncher today.
pronounce the name of the business on this sheet?
Name of the business?
Yosemite?
Yosemite Roofing.
Or Yosme?
Yosemite Roofing?
Yosemite.
Hey guys, it's Josiah with Yosemite Roofing, and we don't care what you call us, as long as you call us.
Things that are different.
The national anthem rendition has been completed by the Westfield High School Choir. Coach Jacinto, you just discussed off air how important the choir is not only to this high school but to the entirety of the district.
Yes, because that's one of the traditions that they have here in spring is that the choir always performs the national anthem before each football game, and that's something that all the previous districts schools I've been with, the band always played the national anthem, and one time the choir wasn't going to be able to make it to the game, so when we asked the band to perform the national anthem, they didn't know it, so that's something that was new to me, and so we always had to make sure that if we don't have the choir, that we do have the rendition that we can play over the sound system.
We are moments away from kickoff of one of the biggest games of the year. The North Shore Mustangs, going to be a bit different, a bit weird to try to differentiate both of these schools, but the North Shore Mustangs coming in with a record of 2-0, opening the year with a 38-17 win against the Woodlands, and the very next week going 1-4-1 against Spring ISD schools, defeating the Spring Lions 53-0 last week, led by new head coach Willie Gaston. Of course, longtime head coach of the North Shore Mustangs, Coach John Kay, now coaching college football. The North Shore Mustangs coming out in their white tops, red bottoms, red helmets with the silver SMU-esque Mustang along the sides, red numerals and lettering on the tops, white lettering on the trousers. The Westfield Mustangs, arguably one of the sleekest uniforms in all of Texas high school football, all black, helmets, tops, and bottoms. White numerals with a red trim, same styling for the lettering. The Westfield Mustangs winning the opening toss, going to be kicking things off. They're going to be going from right to left on your respective device. Fresh 12 minutes are on the clock. Officials speaking to the kicker. And we are ready to go.
One thing, Jared, want to add: if it's a close game and comes down to the kicking game, Westfield has, I think, a tremendous advantage with Johnny Demas, who's one of the top kickers in the state. He's a senior, and he went to a lot of camps, and he's always up at the top in the top echelon of all these kicking camps that he went to. But if it comes down to the kicking game, the Westfield had a distinct advantage. And 2 years ago, when they played here and Westfield won, that was the advantage. He was the difference in that game 2 years ago. How Westfield should win that game.
Look at that kick. Now, Coach, we watched Demas pretty much practice pregame. I don't even know if I want to call that practice. Coach, he was nailing kicks from 55 yards out with still a couple of yards of leg to go. So this is definitely going to be a game in which Westfield is going to need all the advantages they have, both big and small, to come out with a victory against the number 2 team in the state. The North Shore Mustangs coming out led by quarterback, the junior, 6'2", 210, Caleb Bailey. 3 receivers on the right side of the field. Bailey has one back to his right. That's going to be DeAndre Hardiman. Bailey takes a snap, looking, gets popped as he throws, has an open man across the middle, hauled in, and it's going to be caught at around the 43, but the ball is loose. Officials waving it complete, first down and 10, and that is a big-time play to start off the game, Coach.
Yeah, it's one thing, he was set out. The quarterback set out a lot last year because he had a knee injury, but he's got plenty of experience. Led him to the state championship as a freshman. This is really a 3-year starter. One thing that North Shore has at all three levels, offensively and defensively. They have elite players at all three levels.
DeBlanc on the big time reception. Now is going to be a handoff to Hardiman. He's going to gain 3, and that'll make it 2nd down and 7. So now this is where Westfield has the opportunity to really control their own destiny early on in this game. You give up the big play, but this is an opportunity for you to come back on your own volition and get a big time stop on defense. Now the official's going to mark it 2nd and 8 after the Hardiman run. 2 receivers in the slot now.
They're like Westfield's in man coverage all the way across the field. Man free. One free safety at the top.
Going to be a keeper. Now it's Bailey. Bailey stutter stepping across the 35-yard line. He's going to gain around 4. And that's a pretty good solid pickup to bring up a 3rd and short. Bailey so far very, very patient. One thing that North Shore quarterbacks, along with, of course, the legendary Amador before him, all Westfield quarterbacks are patient, and they can pick up yardage in a hurry. Bailey gets it out to Caleb Thomas. Thomas crosses the line to gain, and that's going to be a 1st down and 10. I'd say that was around a gain of about 7, and it looks like the very thing we talked about Westfield needing to do, specifically keeping it short. That looks like how North Shore is getting their yards after that big-time catch from DeBlanc to start off the game.
One thing what's unique about North Shore also compared to what a lot of people run nowadays offensively is that they do employ a tight end, and they really use him a lot, and he's a weapon as well, run blocking and passing game.
Coming out in open space is Hardiman out of the hole, but he's going to get brought down. But a pretty good gain of about 8, maybe even give him 9. But Hardiman's got things going early with a couple of carries. He's easily surpassed double-digit yards. And this is what it's going to take for North Shore to not only keep that spot at number 2, but to take down this very athletic Westfield defense. It's going to be 2nd and 2 now for the North Shore Mustangs. Bailey takes a snap. He's going to keep it himself. Gets hit pretty much at the line of scrimmage, and they'll give him no gain. And a big-time stop for Westfield.
Westfield did a good job of keeping everything covered. If they would have given it to the back, they had that play covered, and they also had the quarterback covered on the keep.
Now it's a pretty big 3rd and 2 for both Mustangs now. 9:03 remaining in quarter number 1. 18 on the play clock. Bailey has a tight end in the back. There's one man in the slot to the wide side of the field, one receiver on the short side. It's a handoff to Hardiman again. Hardiman pushing. Looks like he got the 1st down and might have gotten some change. And it looks like that's a good gain of about 5. And now it's going to be 1st and goal for the Mustangs of North Shore.
Hardiman he's a back that can run between the tackles, but also he's got good moves and also has good speed. So he's and also will catch the ball out of the backfield. So he's very he's 3-dimensional back. So he's a real good back.
This Westfield Mustang defense is doing everything they can to try to hold off this North Shore attack. Let's see if they can hold up here on 1st and 10. Man in motion is going to be Chris Barnes. Barnes now is a tight end. Bailey hands it off to Hardiman. Almost gets tackled, but the Westfield Mustangs eventually bring him down. On the top is going to be the outside linebacker, Keyshawn Monroe. Monroe has pretty much just been spying Hardiman for the majority of this game, and that's pretty much helped keep Hardiman contained so far in the early stages of this ball game. That linebacking core for the Westfield Mustangs is going to have a pretty difficult night, but so far it seems like they've been able to step up and answer the call. 7:50 remaining in quarter number 1.
Yeah, they made the yards pretty tough. The big play that North Shore got getting down with the pass. But they've been pretty steady. And they've been very patient with their run game.
Hardiman right down Main Street, but not into the mayor's office yet. Might have gotten to the receptionist as he comes up now looking at 3rd and short. Waiting on the official ruling, they're going to make it 3rd and 3. So another big 3rd and short opportunity. Of course, North Shore going to hand the ball off. It's maybe right at the goal line. Officials give them 6. Touchdown Hardiman to open this game's scoring.
Like I stated earlier, Hardiman's like he can run between the tackles. He can run wide outside. He got shifty moves. He's a very good back. And you see right there, he's very strong as well. it seemed to have him stopped, but he kept moving his feet and got into the end zone.
Hardeman strong as an ox, and as you can see here, that's a pretty tough ox. I don't know about you. That's one of the toughest running backs in the state, as you can see. As now as we await the PAT with 7:22 remaining. Here's the snap. The kick, it's through the uprights. Appears to be good and is. And we've got things going early. 7:22 remaining in the first. Your score is Westfield 0, North Shore 7. Back after this on the Antler Sports Network.
Find your support system. At Texas Wesleyan, you'll get the one-on-one attention you need to succeed. Texas Wesleyan, small classes, big scholarships. Now that's smaller, smarter.
After the Hardeman touchdown, it's now 7-0 North Shore as the number 2 ranked team in the state, showing why they're one of the most dynamic offenses, not only in the Houston area, but in the entire state of Texas. 7:22, Jared Jones, Hispanic Texas High School Football Coaches Association President, Coach Armando Jacinto, in the booth with you this evening. Remember, tomorrow we'll have a special presentation of college football on the Antler Sports Network, as the Steers of Texas College will be heading up to Arkansas to take on the Bears of the University of Central Arkansas. We'll be on the purple and gray stripes. Coach, have you seen that stadium?
Where
The Central Arkansas Stadium with the purple and gray stripes?
I've seen pictures of it, but not in purple. I've seen pictures, and that's I like purple though, so I like that. It's a unique color. Seems like that's what people are doing nowadays.
Interesting field indeed, as now the returner has some space. Cuts across the middle. Maybe one more man to beat. Gets tripped up at about the 45. And that's a big way to open up this Westfield possession, as Austin Abram, the 5'10", 165-pound senior, with an absolutely electric run to give the Mustangs fantastic field position to open things up. And, Coach, that's that speed we talked about for the Mustangs, for the Westfield Mustangs, and this is what it's going to take.
Yeah, Austin Abram is he's real fast, very elusive, big play receiver. I think we had a interference, sideline interference by the Westfield staff. I don't know what was on the Westfield sideline.
This could be interesting. You'd hate to see all of that hard work from Abram pretty much be dissipated. Looks like Westfield's going to take the ball around the 46-yard line and open up this possession. But can't name too many better ways to get your momentum going. 7:14 now. 3 receivers on the left side of the formation. Abram now in motion, cuts back out to the outside. High snap. It's going to be hauled in by Dent. Dent looking, has pressure on him. Hit as he throws. Has a man across the middle. Handsy, no flag, and it looks like it's picked off, and there it is.
There's a flag down. There was a lot of incidental contact back there by both the receiver and the DB, and it looks like they're going to call interference on North Shore.
And, Coach, you can't too much blame them. I mean, every once in a while there is contact, especially between defensive back and receiver. But I feel like once the intended receiver had fallen, that was the straw that broke the camel's back.
So, well, look, there's a discussion. I guess that discussion, see if there was a penalty on the play. It's having a lengthy discussion. The one thing that these teams have played each other for, I think, the last 10, 15 years, so they're very familiar with what each other does on both sides of the ball. So they're not going to really be anything, they're not going to fool each other because they're very familiar, and that's one thing that successful programs have. They're good at what they do, and that's why they're successful, because they just execute offensively, defensively. Like they won't pick up the flag, Jared. It's going to be interception.
Wow. Interesting indeed. No pass interference called there. All right. I mean, that's what we call the good old-fashioned 50-50 call. Of course, in football, you don't have to be a genius to know that it's a pretty physical sport. But I feel like either way, I can't be too upset at that call. So after the interception, it's going to be first down and 10 for North Shore. But they're deep within their own territory, pretty much with their backs against the wall. The ball is going to be placed on their own 7-yard line, 7:05 remaining in the first quarter of play. It's going to be first down and 10. Empty backfield now for North Shore. 5 receivers out. Westfield looking to play some tight man coverage yet again. Don't want to get hit over the top twice within the same quarter.
We're in the empty set. We're going empty set right now, Jared.
There's definitely a possible big play opportunity. Looks like Westfield is about to bring the heat. Bailey looking.
Going deep.
Big time throw downfield. Caught it. Hauled in is Barnes. Barnes, foot race brought down, hit it about the 40. And that's exactly what happened the last possession. Thankfully for the Mustangs of North Shore, Jordan James was able to get to him in time. But if you're North Shore right now, you have to think these are the big-time plays that you have to make early on, take momentum quickly, and most importantly, keep said momentum.
The quarterback did a good job of looking to the right, even though he's going to go to the left, looking off that safety, so allowing the receiver to come clear and be open, even though he did run him down.
Going to be a keeper now to Bailey. Bailey's on the outside at the 40, 35, steps out of bounds. And North Shore's Joseph Albright was there right on his heels. That won't quite move the chains, but that's a great pickup on first down. He's going to get about 6. That'll make it 2nd down and 4. Clock rolling. Well, clock halted, 6:37 remaining in the first quarter.
Might have been something on film that maybe North Shore saw that they had an opportunity to go deep because they've hit Westfield with 2 deep passes in the first 2 drives.
Here's Bailey. Hit to Hardeman, and what a hit! Whoa! Talk about a big-time hit made by Westfield's Carson Williams. Williams did a great job as we look at that replay again. Wow. That could be one of the plays of the year. That was a big hit, losing about 2. And that's going to make it 3rd down and 5. It looks like we're going to have a timeout, and we'll take it with them. It's 7-0, but Westfield holding them off. Back after this. This is Texas High School football on the Antler Sports Network, ASN2, and Antler Sports Network Radio.
It's Nathan LeMaster. I'm from Tyler, Texas, and here I have the Pill Puncher. This device, ladies and gentlemen, will help you get into pill packages very easily, sanitarily, and effectively. All you got to do is take the point, puncture the back, right there. Take the device, put it over the pill, like so, push it down, drops it into the reservoir, and there you go, folks. Why make this harder on yourselves? Save your fingers and get your pill puncher today.
After the big-time hit, it's going to be 3rd down and 5 for the North Shore Mustangs. Looks like it's going to be a possible free play opportunity here. Going deep, and did he haul it in? Yes, he got it. Guillory hauls it in. What a catch. We're just getting big play after big play here. And now the momentum is solely on North Shore's side. Westfield continuously making big-time stops on defense, but North Shore, as soon as they take one swing, they swing back just as hard with 5:50 remaining in the first, Coach.
Yeah, and that's like I said, there's something that they saw on film. That's 3 plays that they've hit Westfield deep with the pass, and if you switch it back on with Westfield, they had the receiver open, but it was underthrown and allowed North Shore to get the interception when Westfield had the football.
Bailey trying a little option action, but no dice, says the Westfield Mustangs. But there is multiple flags now. That tackle is going to be made by Westfield's number 40, the linebacker Devin Smith.
Looks like that flag's going to be on North Shore. It's going to look like a personal foul on the running back.
Most likely as the officials convene. Offsetting penalties. And, Coach, you talked about both of these teams very familiar with each other, so there's going to be plenty of extracurricular, a lot of competition down on that field just outside of football. Both of these teams, 2 of the most prestigious programs in the state. And the Westfield Mustangs holding the advantage since 2004. Westfield is 6-4 against North Shore.
Yes, sir. They only one have a winning record, not even the defending state champion Duncanville Panthers have a winning record against North Shore. But I think it's kind of like a good luck charm for North Shore because every time they've lost to Westfield, they've won the state championship.
Could be maybe a little superstition. Man in motion here. Bailey on the keeper. Almost got hit, and he does. Spun at the line of scrimmage. That's going to be no gain. And guess who on the tackle yet again? That's Devin Smith. Smith with 2 big-time tackles here on Bailey. Bailey pretty much not allowed to use his legs for most of this game. And Westfield has been holding him off, Coach. You talked about how athleticism and defense and the little things are going to make an impact on this game. And that is exactly what's happened. 4:47 remaining now. 3rd and goal. They got to get 11 yards. And this is do or die for both of these teams. It's been a 3rd down game. And here we are with another 3rd down. Bailey with a back and a tight end, 1 receiver on the slot, middle of the field. Bailey fakes the handoff, looking right, throws across the middle of double coverage into the end zone, touchdown. No flags. Wow. That was just a beautiful ball from Bailey.
And you know, they did that play action, and again, that's the 4th time that North Shore's been able to get behind the defense. Even though we were close to the goal line, he was still back at the back of the end zone and got behind the safety. As it had the safety was looking in the backfield, looking at the play action, and the slot receiver was able to run a post behind the safety and did a good job of getting his feet in and staying in bounds and getting a touchdown.
Daniel Cruz awaits the snap. He gets it. Kick is through the uprights and good. We've got ourselves a pretty intense ball game here. North Shore, the number 2 team in the state, currently up on Westfield 14-0. This is an Hispanic Texas High School Football Coaches Association Game of the Week on the Antler Sports Network ASN2 and Antler Sports Network Radio.
Street Pharmacy and Medical Supply offers a complete approach to health and healing, providing prescriptions and medical supplies from one team who understands you and your lifestyle needs. Professional friendly service, providing the best care possible. Brick Street Pharmacy and Medical Supply. Brick Street Pharmacy and Medical Supply introduces the U-Step Laser Walker, providing Parkinson patients new freedom. A laser line visually prompts each step, so you walk normally and stay in control, preventing rollaways. Now available at Brick Street Pharmacy and Medical Supply.
Here with the kickoff, and it's an onside kick, a little bit of a dribbler slid.
They got it. They squibbed it, and they got on. But there's a flag on the play. North Shore's going to be offside, so they're going to have to re-kick it. They can't allow it. They have to take the penalty because they were offsides.
That's a gutsy call. Up 14-0 with a little under 4.5 remaining in the first quarter. But I guess if you're the number 2 team in the state going against another ranked opponent, those are some risks you might have to take.
Yeah, and like I said, that might be part of the game plan, and getting up and putting it on their quarterback, like we talked about in the pregame show, by putting it on Westfield's quarterback, which is he got a lot of experience and putting more pressure on him to make the plays to stay in the games, and that just would get them another extra possession.
Coach, you were 100% correct. North Shore is going to have to re-kick.
Yeah. One thing you need to look for that as a special teams coordinator when I coached is that front line was always up on the line for things like that. And, because if you pay attention when they line up, Jared, you'll see that the front line of Westfield is going to be 13 yards off the ball instead of 10 yards. So that gives them, and I saw them as they were approaching, they started backing up. So when they do that, they can catch them off guard like they did. And that's something, that you pick up on the film. And if you practice that and if you see there's a good opportunity to get a surprise onside kick, you're going to do things like that. And that shows that, and I know both teams do that. All teams do that. But you see that's something that they saw in the film. That's a good opportunity to do that if it presents itself. And you see that middle is open. You see where they're at. That middle is open. That's exactly where they squibbed that kick. There's nobody there in front of the ball.
Cruz approaching the ball. It's currently at the 35-yard line, and this is a more traditional kick. Plenty of height, not a lot of distance. Takes a bounce at the 20. It's hauled up, and it's spaced now. Tackle is going to be made at about the 31-yard line. Thankfully, both teams popping back up. No extracurriculars, and it looks like Westfield is going to take the football back. First down and 10. Now for Westfield, after this game, an all-spring affair coming up next week as they take on the Lions of Spring High School. In 2 weeks, as the Mustangs of Westfield have a bye week. And I feel like you might need 2 bye weeks, especially going against the number 2 team in the state. Here comes Dent and company. First down and 10 for the Mustangs. High snap. It's a handoff. Gives it right over to, looks like Tauji Atkins. Atkins, if you remember, last year was one of the best running backs we had seen on the Antler Sports Network, even when we did that playoff broadcast as the Mustangs took on the Duncanville Panthers. And he had a fantastic game against Duncanville, just even showing more with 4 minutes remaining in the first quarter. That Atkins definitely has college potential, and it seems like the North Shores and the Duncanvilles, that talent definitely shows. After the gain of 1, it's going to be 2nd and 9. Dent making a couple calls at the line of scrimmage. 2 slot receivers now split. Miles has a running back to his right side. High snap. They're going to hand it off to him again. He's got a couple of blocks. Goes back across. Breaks a tackle, and he's got space. Makes one and miss, and he's got open field. Crossing midfield at the 45-40. Gets tripped up out of bounds at about the 37-yard line as Atkins crosses the plane. And that's that talent we talked about right on schedule.
One thing that, as we talked about in the pregame, that North Shore does, they really like to crown that line of scrimmage with that front 7, and they like to play man behind that, so they try to cover all gaps. But if you break that first line of defense, you got a lot of room to run, and you got to give credit to Taji on that play. He made all that by himself.
And you can't give Taji a lot of space, as we've seen, as we have an injury on the field. And while they tend to the injured player, we're going to take a timeout. Back after this on the Antler Sports Network.
Announce the name of the business on this sheet.
Name of the business?
Yosemite?
Yosemite Roofing.
Or Yosme?
Yosemite Roofing?
Yosemite.
Hey guys, it's Josiah with Yosemite Roofing, and we don't care what you call us, as long as you call us.
After the injury timeout, it's going to be first down and 10. 3.5 left to go after the big-time Atkins run. Dent takes a snap. It's going to be handoff to him again. Cuts across the opposite side of the field. Gets a block from his quarterback. Fumble, ball is loose. North Shore's got it, but no. At the bottom of the pile, ball still seems to be loose. And North Shore says they have it.
Looks like North Shore's pointing. Good like North, because like Westfield's coming to the sideline. Like North Shore got the ball.
And
no, Westfield got it.
Westfield does get the football back. And Atkins definitely letting out a sigh of relief after dropping that football. Multiple North Shore Mustangs responsible for that tackle, but it was a safety, Paul Porter, who was able to reach the hand across the body of Atkins and jar the ball loose and almost caused a turnover. But instead, Westfield will have to settle for second down and 8, 2:45 remaining.
A lot of times that's when you'll see fumbles happen when backs are always fighting for that extra yardage, and when they do that, that ball tends to come away from the body, and that's guys who are running by. That's when they stick that hand in there, and that's when you see fumbles occur a lot of times.
We have a flag from the far side. It looks like it might be against the Mustangs. It is. It's a false start penalty called against Westfield. That'll make things a tad bit more difficult. Second and now. Pretty good distance to go. for this Westfield offense, who was looking to build some momentum after that Atkins run. You get the football back after the fumble with 2:34 remaining in quarter number one. It's only 14-0. Westfield already in North Shore territory. 4 receivers out wide. Trips on the left side of the field.
Here he is.
Dent looking, throws across the middle. It's going to be hauled in by Emmanuel Yancey. Yancey might have gotten the first down. No. They're going to mark him just short maybe, or they'll move the chains. The chains are moving, but no, on the dial down is moving. It's going to be 3rd down and maybe the length of the football. And I don't know, Coach, I'm not a football expert by any stretch of the imagination, but this seems like Taji Atkins' time.
Yes, that'd be you want to keep those chains moving because you're already 14 points down and you want to get 21 like we talked about. You don't want to put too much pressure on that quarterback. And you still can stick with your game plan. It's still early, still the first quarter. And they could get a score here that would put them back in. You could still stay with what the game plan says.
And it is handoff to Atkins. Slips, but gets the first down and looking for more. Yeah. He's going to gain about 2. And, Coach, there it is. If it ain't broke, you definitely don't need to fix it. Exactly. Minute 37 remaining, and Westfield moves the chains.
And like we talked about in the pregame, Jared, North Shore sticks to what they do defensively. They're going to put 7 in the box, and they're going to play with you man and try to keep all those gaps covered. But if you break that first line of defense like we see, you could have a good long run, and with Taji back there, he could take it to the house. The only time you might see them come that they will change up if you give them a trick formation. Sometimes they will play zone, and they did in the last pass play that Westfield ran. They were in zone to that trip side.
And here we go. Westfield stepping back onto the field. Fresh set of downs. 1st and 10. Minute 2 seconds remaining, and it looks like we're going to have a timeout on the field. Westfield will take a timeout, and we take it with them. The Spring Mustangs knocking on the door. Back after this. This is an expanded Texas High School Football Coaches Association Game of the Week on the Antler Sports Network and ASN Radio.
Find your support system. At Texas Wesleyan, you'll get the one-on-one attention you need to succeed. Texas Wesleyan, small classes, big scholarships. Now that's smaller, smarter.
Westfield Mustangs, led by head coach Matt Meekins, had the pleasure of doing a couple of his games last year. Broadcasted the Westfield Mustangs as they defeated the Cougars of Aldine Nimitz at Leonard George Stadium. We even went to to Georgetown as they took on the Panthers of Duncanville in a playoff matchup. And now we have them here taking on the second-ranked team in the state in the North Shore Mustangs. Minute 2. It's a direct snap over to Dent. Dent running, has a little bit of space, but it's taken down almost immediately. Multiple North Shore defenders on him. Initial hit was from Jarvin Coles, the linebacker there.
Good to say real quick for the this next play. A couple of scores from last night's game with our fellow Spring schools. Spring Lions defeated Strake Jesuit here last night at Planet Ford Stadium 48-35. And Spring Decaney beat the Humble Wildcats 38-14 at Thorne Stadium last night.
I want to give a great thank you to not only you, Coach Jacinto, but to the Spring ISD schools and also the Hispanic Texas High School Football Coaches Association, proud longtime sponsors of the Antler Sports Network. At halftime, we'll take a look at the rest of the association games of the week that we have in store for our fantastic viewers and listeners. But here we got action. 12 seconds left. It's going to be a keeper. Dent gets up, has space, tripped up, but he eventually falls at the 10-yard line with about 6 seconds left. And Dent putting a huge dent into that 2nd and long and to move the chains 1st down.
And kind of like, just going back to what we discussed, Jared, they're going to crowd that box with 7 in the box, but if you break that first line defense, you have a chance to make a big play.
And a big play indeed from Dent. 1st down. Ball's going to be marked at the 10-yard line. This is the opportunity of a lifetime, and it looks like we have ourselves a timeout. Oh, no.
Quarter.
Will be a timeout. That'll be the end of the first quarter. We've definitely had some fireworks so far. Well, 12 minutes down, 3 quarters to go. Back after this. This is Texas High School Football on the Antler Sports Network, ASN Radio, and ASN2.
Find your support system. At Texas Wesleyan, you'll get the one-on-one attention you need to succeed. Texas Wesleyan, small classes, big scholarships. Now that's smaller, smarter.
So far, we have had 12 minutes of some pretty entertaining football as the North Shore Mustangs currently ahead of the Westfield Mustangs by a score of 14-0. We're beginning the second quarter, brought to you by HTO, your hometown drink stop, home of 27 freshly brewed flavors of teas and drinks to please any palate. HTO, official drink providers of the Antler Sports Network. Jared Jones, Hispanic Texas High School Football Coaches Association President and former athletic director of Spring ISD, Coach Armando Jacinto, with us here. Coach, it's been a pretty good start to this game for both teams, but if you're Westfield, knocking on the door here, big opportunity to get on the board. Now it's a handoff to Atkins. Atkins breaks a tackle, but eventually gets drugged down after gaining about 4, and that'll make it second down and goal. But plenty of opportunities and chances for Westfield. It's just time to capitalize.
One thing that I know the coaches see up there for Westfield that they see in that same formation with North Shore crowd in the box, is you have a man-on-man coverage down to the one receiver side with a lot of the middle of the field open. That's something they might want to be able to take advantage of maybe later on in the game. But I know they see that up in the press box out of that formation.
Second down and goal now.
When the Wildcat.
Empty backfield gets brought down, and he might have lost a yard. No, officials say he got back to the line of scrimmage. The ball does come out, but I do believe that Dent was down. At least from this angle, I would say that he was down.
They kind of switched it up there, and they went to the Wildcat and put Tajay at the quarterback position. They split out Miles Dent on that one. That formation gave him a different look, but North Shore was prepared for that changeup.
And this was really what you would expect if Westfield tried to get a little bit fancy. That would be one way to try to keep this North Shore defense on their heels. And if you're Westfield, you have the athletes for it, you have the talent for it, you have the speed, you have the size. It's just trying to get past that experience that could be the difference maker. Shotgun formation. For receiver. Dent looking, jump pass back in the end zone. No, looks like it would have been a holding call.
Yeah,
no call.
Jersey. I don't know how you didn't see that, especially the head linesman. He was right there looking right at that, and I don't know how he missed that. But
Coach, I'm going to have to agree with you. That was holding all day, twice on Sunday.
Yeah, but if they don't call it, I guess it's not a penalty.
Got that right.
You got to see it.
They don't call it, it's not a flag.
Yes, exactly.
But I don't know about you, but if I'm Westfield and I have Jonathan Demas coming out to kick my field goals, I feel like that's pretty much about as a sure shot as you can get. As we discussed prior to hitting the air, Demas was hitting field goals from 55 yards out and still had a little bit of leg to go.
Yeah, you college coaches out there, if you don't know about Johnny Demas, you need to come get him because he's a great person, great student, and so he'll be a great addition to your program.
We'll have to agree as he nails the field goal, and Westfield is on the board. It's 14-3. Back after this. This is Texas High School football on the Antler Sports Network, ASN Radio, and ASN2.
Find your support system. At Texas Wesleyan, you'll get the one-on-one attention you need to succeed. Texas Wesleyan, small classes, big scholarships. Now that's smaller, smarter.
A great student.
Talking about Jonathan Demas after the successful field goal. Coach, you said he was a soccer player as well.
Yes, sir. He's a midfielder. I think he's one of the better soccer players for Westfield soccer team, and I think he made all-district and also academic all-district. Like, he's not just a great athlete, but also a great student and a great person. So somebody will be a great addition to their program because he can kick off, field goals, and punt.
after the successful field goal. Westfield going to kick things back off. We are back up and away. Line drive kicked straight into the hands of the awaiting returner. That's going to be DeBlanc. DeBlanc's got space, nailed just before the 45. DeBlanc takes a big hit and pops right back up, nodding his head. Looks like he was ready for it, but with 10:18 left to go, that was a big hit for anybody to take. North Shore will get ready to trot back onto the field with 10:18 left to go in quarter number 2. Ball is going to be placed what appears to be the 46-yard line, first down and 10 for North Shore. North Shore with some big plays to open up this game, but Westfield's been with him, and there's a big-time sack. Bryson Balka, the defensive lineman, 6 foot, 245-pound senior, gets around that edge and makes the big-time hit to now make it second down and probably to I-45.
Yeah. And the strength of Westfield's teams on both sides of the ball is the O-line and the D-line. So that's something that's got to hold up. We just got to do a better job on the back end covering on those deep passes.
It's second and long now. Adjustments made at the line of scrimmage as a man in motion. They're going to hand it off to Hardeman. Hardeman gets to the outside, gets past the original line to gain, and he gets the first down and more. He's going to gain about 25 yards on that big-time run. And this is what you can't do. If you're going to try to bring him down, you got to hit him on initial contact. You can't give him too much space because he just eats up yardage almost at an instant with 9.5 remaining.
And that's a play that North Shore hadn't shown the run play. They pulled both guards, what we call a pin and pull, even though they did run some misdirection, but that's the first time they put both guards on what we call a pin and pull or a buck.
9:17 remaining.
Going deep.
Bailey looking, going down the field, one-on-one coverage, incomplete. There is a flag. There is a flag, much to the dismay of Joseph Albright. Albright has pretty much played coverage the way that most of the corner receiver matchups have been throughout this game. Interesting call.
I don't see too much difference from that play and the play earlier where they picked up the flag. But, there was contact.
There indeed was contact. That was for sure. There's been contact majority of this game. And as we await the official call, as the side judge and the white hat are discussing. It looks like now the head official.
It's a 15-yard penalty from the spot. It's not a spot foul where the interference occurred like the pros.
Indeed it is pass interference. And that's going to give North Shore prime real estate to continue this drive. Ball's on the 25, 9 minutes, 11 seconds remaining in this one. Westfield looking to send a little bit of extra heat. Bailey looking, steps up in the pocket's going to carry it himself. Has the middle of the field open. Jukes a man, jumps over him, flips and falls. That was risky, but hung on to the football. Wow. That was a miraculous play. Took a big-time hit, saw that the pocket was collapsing, steps up, carries it himself, and takes a hit and almost landed it. Keyshawn Monroe was able to make the final hit, but now with 8:48 to go, it's been a big North Shore drive. Here's a handoff up the middle to Hardeman and into the end zone, touchdown.
One thing about the quarterback for North Shore, he can throw it, he can run it. So you can't like sit up there and when it's a pass play, get down there and drop into man coverage because he'll pull it down. He's running. He's a threat back there running the ball as well as throwing, and he's also a great leader.
Take another look at that big time run. One thing about Hardeman, you can't give him too much space, and that was all set up by that Bailey big time run. And now Cruz looking to cap off this drive with a successful extra point. Here's a snap. The whole kick spins through the uprights and good. But no, hold everything. There seems to be a flag at the line of scrimmage. So things could get interesting. We know this game has been pretty chippy pretty much since the opening kick. And there's 2 flags as the officials conversated about the 5-yard line.
Now, one thing that's, as we discussed in the pregame as well, Jared, is that North Shore, they have talent at all 3 levels. They have a great line. They have the quarterback is a threat, Hardeman's a threat, and then Thomas, receiver. So they can hit you in all different facets. You can't really concentrate and try to stop one person because they can throw it and run it. So that's one thing that their offense is very diverse.
Looks like unsportsmanlike conduct called against both teams. Penalties will offset. Field goal is successful. And we'll take a break. After the North Shore PAT, North Shore 21 Westfield 3. Back after this short timeout. This is an Hispanic Texas High School Football Coaches Association Game of the Week on the Antler Sports Network.
Find your support system. At Texas Wesleyan, you'll get the one-on-one attention you need to succeed. Texas Wesleyan, small classes, big scholarships. Now that's smaller, smarter.
This broadcast presented in part by Texas Wesleyan University. Plan on having a couple more Wesleyan football games throughout the year, but we will have college football tomorrow as the Steers of Texas College head up to Arkansas to take on the Bears of the University of Central Arkansas. Kickoff of that game expected to be about 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Have pregame at around 6:30. As we go live from the purple and gray striped field. That game will be on Antler Sports Network 2 and Antler Sports Network Radio. That will be an audio-only broadcast. But tonight we have number 23 versus number 2 as the Mustangs of North Shore convert on their last drive and extend their lead over the Mustangs of Westfield, score now sitting at 21-3 with 8:40 remaining in the first half of play. Coach, so far Westfield still in this one. We've seen them make comebacks against teams just as good, if not better, than North Shore, and they've had some big-time plays. What is it going to take for them to get back in this one?
Well, they can't be, one thing they can't keep, even though they have to score touchdowns, because it seemed like North Shore's offense, it's just so explosive that, they've scored every time they've had the ball. So unless they can come up with some ways to slow them down, they're going to have to keep scoring with them. And like we said, that's one of the key points that I felt going into the game. Westfield had to stay out of going too far behind and putting it on the quarterback, because that's he's got the talent, but he just doesn't have the experience, and you're putting a lot of pressure on a young man that doesn't have a lot of experience. And then also that'll allow North Shore knowing you're going to have to throw the ball, so they're going to start teeing off and just rushing that passer. And it's a whole lot harder when if you can't stick with your game plan. But right now they're still in the game, and if they could get a score here, they would be able to stay in the game and keep with the game plan going in.
They definitely have an opportunity to do so, and it's led by Dent and company. Dent, little pitch and catch out to the outside, intended for Atkins. A little bit too much mustard on that one, and the incompletion will bring up 2nd and 10. And Dent has pretty much had to go sky high to try to get the snap. Maybe it could be big game jitters, because if we look at this North Shore defensive front, just going by the weight alone, 265, 250, 210, and 220. That's a pretty big defensive front to try to go against. But for Westfield, they have a big offensive line as well. 305, 281, 275, just to name a few. But as you talked about, Coach, one thing about Westfield, they win games in the trenches.
Yes, that's the strength of their offensive line, but it's also one thing about North Shore, they also can move. They're big and strong and can move. Very agile.
Here's a throw out to the outside to Abram. Abram turns upfield. Might have been a horse collar from this angle. There is a flag from the backside. And it's definitely the only call I could really see was a horse collar. Abrams, it turned upfield. And Stutter stepped his way up the sideline as we look at the replay. And no, looking at the replay, it might not have been a horse collar. That tackle was made by North Shore's. Trying to get a good number here. It seems like it was Levante Johnson. And it is indeed a horse collar, automatic first down. An interesting call.
That was a good call, Jared. You're correct on that call. According to what the referee saw, so you saw the same thing. But also going back to what I discussed earlier, when they go to that 3-by-1 receivers, trying to exploit that one receiver side as it just is in you, then they did that on that time. It was just a short hitch pass and got 12 yards. That came out to 27 when you had the penalty. So that's something that I would look at trying to exploit that one receiver side because they're going to be in man. That's what North Shore does.
Here's Dent. Dent has a little bit of space, gets past the first down, and gets knocked down at about the 40-yard line. Tackle is going to be made by North Shore's Dylan Dixon, the linebacker on that one. And one thing about Dent is very similar to Bailey. If he sees the pocket collapse, he's not afraid to get out of there and try to make something happen. And as you can see, that definitely worked to Westfield's advantage, moving the chains. It's first down and 10.
He's done a good job of running the ball tonight. Seems like he's getting a little bit more confidence in as the season gets as we get further into the season.
Got a pre-snap penalty here. The flag's continuing to fly as the wide hand and the umpire discuss. They disperse. Can't wait to see the penalty yards as the referee goes to talk to one of the North Shore coaches who stepped on the 50-yard line, and here we have the official call. Seems like we might have a substitution penalty or a delay of game called against North Shore, and that'll give them 5 extra yards. A nice little chunk of change there to make this first down just a tad bit easier. As the clock now rolls, 8 minutes, 8 seconds remaining in the first half of play. North Shore holding the 21-3 advantage. Dent making an adjustment at the line of scrimmage. He has 4 wide receivers and a running back. Dent looking to his right. Here's a high pass, a little bit too much, and it is indeed a pass interference call, Coach.
Yeah, exactly.
The flag flies.
And that's something you have to do against North because they're going to be in man coverage, and if you can exploit that's man coverage, and you have receivers to do it. And Westfield does have the speed. Now the big thing is just getting it. The quarterback can get it to him.
Miles again with the good old jump pass, and looking at the replay, I can definitely understand the pass interference call. It'll be 15 yards, and that'll move the chains. But one argument you can make there is, of course, the argument is if it was an uncatchable ball. To try to.
Well, I think one reason it was uncatchable because he held him, so he'd have a chance to get to the ball.
that could be a reason.
Exactly. Yes, sir.
Here we go. After the penalty, first down and 10, balls on the 20-yard line.
Okay, Westfield's on that 3-by-1. Let's see if they exploit that receiver to the top by himself.
That short side receiver for the Mustangs of Westfield is Elon Jupiter. Instead, they're going to keep it with Miles. Miles spins out, has some space. Crosses across the right hash at the 5, inside the 5, spins, rolls into the end zone, waiting on the call.
I think they caught him on the 1-inch line.
He might have called him on the millimeter-yard line. That was a big-time run there from Miles, making something out of nothing. In the junior, making things happen. As we look at the replay, he initially gets hit at the 5 by North Shore's Levante Johnson. He spins, and he might be just a tad bit short. That's 50-50 if I've ever seen it. Either way, yep, they're going to place it right on the millimeter line, and it's going to be first and goal for Westfield. No better time like the present to try to make it happen. Atkins is on the field. They're going to hand it off to him. He slides, tries to go under the defense, and he might be short as a helmet comes off at around the 4-yard line. And the officials do mark him short. So Atkins might have gained a...
He lost. He lost a yard.
Indeed. They're going to say he lost a yard. Yeah. Second and goal now.
Now Westfield made a personnel change and brought. They got a two tight end alignment formation.
Much heavier lineup. I like to call it the buffet buster lineup. 6:44 remaining in the first half of play. Atkins now standing to Miles' left, and he gets hit right at the line of scrimmage and even lost 2 yards as the North Shore defense swarms to Dent to bring him down. Initial Mustang to get him was Caleb Kane, as Kane pretty much read that keeper right on the money, and that'll make it 3rd and goal.
In the defense that they're playing, North Shore, which is what they play all over the field, if they had the option game in the package, the option would be wide open to the one receiver side.
Atkins is back in. 4 receivers now man in motion. Throw back at the end zone. Hold it, Atkins. Did he get the toes?
Touchdown.
He's in. Touchdown to Westfield. That was a fantastic throw from Dent, getting it right on the money. And, Coach, you said you want to see him step up. How's that? That was a nice throw,
exactly.
555.
You took the words. That's exactly what I was thinking, that he's really done a good job tonight. I'm really impressed of his growth from week 1 and especially from last week. He didn't really have a good game last week, but have to give credit to the opponent, Hightower. They had a good defense and did a good job of with their game plan. They came in last week that they were going to stop Taji and put it on the quarterback, and they did a good job of forcing that, and that's why they weren't very successful.
Now here's Demas. No, it's a fake. Trying to throw in the back of the end zone, but it's going to be an unsuccessful 2-point conversion. Thought they were going to try to take the points there, but the helmet comes off, and the Mustangs will have to settle for 6. As we look at the replay here, seems like it just broke down. Looks like they tried to have a receiver in the back of the end zone, but nonetheless, Westfield strikes again. Your score, the Mustangs of North Shore 21, the Mustangs of Westfield 9. Back in 30 seconds, this is Texas High School football on the Antler Sports Network, ASN2, and Antler Sports Network Radio. After the Atkins touchdown reception, that was good for 5 yards. Westfield shows more signs of life. 5:55 remaining in this one, remaining in the first half of play. It's 21-9. The 2-point conversion attempt was unsuccessful. North Shore back deep for the Mustangs. They're going to have number 2, Dion DeBlanc. DeBlanc has had an electric evening so far in the return game, and he would surely love to have a big return here. If I was a betting man, I'd have to say Demas might put this, let's say, 3 yards in the back of the end zone. Let's see what he's got. Demas, the midfielder for the Westfield varsity soccer team. Demas huffs, approaches the football, and we are back and ready to go. It's a strong kick, end over end, and goodbye.
I think he just mishit that second kickoff out, because normally in the game plan it's not to short kick it. I think he just mishit it because Coach Meekins has a lot of confidence in him being able to kick it out of the end zone every time.
Well, he definitely got all of that one.
Yeah, he's good at least 95% of the time.
Still 5:55 remaining in the first half of play. We'll take a break during halftime, maybe look at some stats, try to find some scores from around the Houston area and the rest of the great state of Texas. But here we have a 2 versus 23 ranked matchup. North Shore taking the football back. Bailey had it, lost the football. Ball seems to be on the ground. No, but Bailey recovered it. But he's going to lose plenty of yardage. Might have lost around 4 or 5. And not a good way to start. But if you're this Westfield defense, you're definitely happy with this opening defensive snap.
Exactly. If it's somehow that Westfield could get a stop here, and they've been moving the ball pretty good and get some type of score, they would be good to going into the halftime, because they would also get the ball to start the second half.
Westfield a big opportunity to go into the rest of this first half with some extra time. Bailey getting out of trouble. Great elusiveness, rolling out to the left side. Has a lead block, gets out of bounds. Chase out at about the 25, and he'll pretty much get a yard past the original line of scrimmage as he trots back to the sideline. That was a great job there. One thing about both of these quarterbacks, this is going to be a battle between two QBs and signal callers who know how to get out of the pocket and know how to make big-time plays when the pocket collapses.
It seemed like they had him. He did a good job of being very elusive and getting out of that. It seemed like they had a sure sack, and he got out of it and gained some positive yardage. Now they're in a down and distance where it's makeable.
Third and long sounds a lot better than 3rd and 18.
Yes, sir.
I can definitely – you don't have to be a mathematician to understand that. After the run out of bounds, clock will halt, 5:09 remaining in the first half. Bailey takes a snap, fakes the handoff, looking to his right now, rolls out to his right. Signal calling, makes the throw as he's hit. Flag gets thrown and incomplete. Now that could be multiple things. Could be a rough in the passer or maybe a hold. Pass was intended for Christopher Barnes.
Came from the side judge because it looked like it's going to be some type of something on the receiver or the DB. It came from the side judge on the far sideline. And that's going to be a big play if they get, because it's going to be a first down, and they would have had a stop right there. But if it's on Westfield, it's going to continue to drive and give them a first down.
Bailey took a huge shot, and it is going to be holding against Westfield, and that will for sure move the chains. First down and 10 for North Shore, and that's exactly what the doctor ordered if you're head coach Willie Gaston and company. North Shore coming out of 6A Region 3 District 21, a 2-0 record, defeating the Woodlands in spring to open up the year. Here's Bailey. Bailey looking, big shot down the middle of the field's got a man overthrew him. A little bit too much mustard on that one, and that'll be incomplete. Second down and 10. As we have, Blanc seems to be a tad bit shaken up. And as he gets treated to, we're going to take a short break. Back after this, it's Texas High School football on the Antler Sports Network, ASN2, and ASN Radio. As the injured Mustang seems to be walking someone over his own power to Blanc. That's a big-time loss for North Shore. That's one of the most explosive players. Hope he's okay.
Yeah, we'll see if he's going to be able to come back in the second half. Look like he's walking off pretty well. Maybe he might have got the breath knocked out when he landed on the ground diving for that pass.
Hopefully so, because Bailey had a little bit of extra mustard on that one. The incompletion will bring up second down and 10. We're here at beautiful Planet Ford Stadium. Now, Coach, last year when we did the Nimitz-Westfield game, and now we have another flag. But last year you gave me a brief tour of this facility, and I have to say, Coach, this is top tier.
Yes, sir. It's you can't say enough about the community support here of passing it in a previous bond, and with this one of the best stadiums in the state.
One of the best for sure.
Now in the future they're going to be building an arena on this same property where they can conduct graduations and meetings, basketball and football games. So can't say enough about the community support that's been, because they've passed two bonds, but they're able to upgrade the facilities and also campuses and all different things that the district needs to stay up with all the other surrounding districts and provide a quality education for the community in the spring.
That flag against North Shore is going to make it second down and 15 as the huddle disperses. Another early drive, long-distance place. 4 minutes, 53 seconds remaining in the first half of play.
Got unbalanced formation. That play again, that pulling those two guards.
Here's Hardiman. Hardiman gets hit, brought down at about the 40. He might have gained about 6, but a big gain either way, and that'll make this third down just a tad bit easier.
That's a play they ran in the previous drive. They got about 20 yards, but they ran it to the right. This time they ran it to the left, pulling those pulling both guards. But in coach vernacular, you say punt and pull or the buck.
Going to be 3rd and 7, the official spot, clock rolling. 4:19 remaining in the first half. Ball is on the 40-yard line.
It's another big down right here.
Westfield would love to have a big-time stop. They got North Shore in their own territory. A punt here could set up pretty good field position with plenty of time left on the clock. Here's Bailey. Strike right across the right hash, and it's complete. And that is going to be hauled in by Cameron Smith, his first catch of the game, and that'll move the chains.
It looks like, looking at the design of the play, it looked like the receiver was going to be like a hook and lateral, where the receiver's doing a hook and was going to pitch it to the running back coming up the field. But Westfield had that running back covered, and I think that's why the receiver just held the ball and just got the first down.
Big first down for North Shore to keep the drive alive. Ball now on the 49, knocking on the door of Westfield territory. Bailey has an empty backfield, 5 receivers. Takes the shotgun snap, looking to his left, winds up, big strike across the middle, double coverage. Was it picked off? It's hauled in.
They're calling it incomplete. Looked like they're calling it incomplete, like it touched the ground.
Jordan Lewis, fantastic concentration, even almost bring that ball in. Bailey with a risky ball in double coverage. Thankfully, it wasn't hauled in for a pick.
Westfield did a good job on having all the receivers covered compared to early in the game where the receivers were running wide open. But they've done a whole better job this second quarter of doing a better job of covering receivers on the long passes that they were hurt early in the game.
That incompletion makes it 2nd and 10. As we see the replay, they are pure inches away from being an interception. Westfield looking to send the house. They're going to keep it with Bailey. Bailey, pitch and catch is going to be to the outside, over to Smith again. Smith gets hit out of bounds, and that's going to be another penalty flag. Well, this could be an interesting call. Only thing I could really think of is maybe a hit out of bounds, but
it looked like it was he was thrown between the receiver that was blocking on the 30-yard line and the DB for Westfield.
This is definitely going to be an interesting call here. It seems like there's a shaken up Westfield Mustang.
And I saw the North Shore receiver pointing like it was pointing at Westfield like it was going to be against Westfield, but we'll see.
Holding.
No holding.
Called against North Shore.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely had to be. Couldn't have been on the
no,
between
it was on
the
number,
linemen.
It looked like the receiver on the far side. I think it's number 8.
Number 8, that would have to be.
Is it number 8?
Cameron
One on
Smith.
the far side over there.
That far side, that appears to be number 6, Devin Sanchez.
Okay, then see, it was on him. He was the one that was blocking here.
That penalty will make it 2nd down and 7. Clock begins to roll yet again. 3:15. 2nd down and long. Play clock reads 15. Mustangs break the huddle. North Shore Mustangs break the huddle.
Then the 2 tight end set, the formation they haven't shown.
It's going to be handoff to Hardiman. Hardiman spins and gets laid out right before he can get to the 45-yard line. That tackle is going to be from Westfield's number 8, Keyshawn Monroe. Monroe, a linebacker, likes to play a little bit of outside linebacker, but we've seen him already has a TFL from the middle linebacker spot, a very versatile defensive player. He's had a heck of a game so far.
Yeah, he's been all over the field. He's been a playmaker, and good thing that he has because he stopped a lot of these runs that could have been even larger than the runs that they've had in the whole game.
3rd and 5 now. Bailey, flag yet again. Catch to the outside is made to Hardiman from the backfield. And yet another flag. Coach, I cannot wait to see the flag totals for both of these teams. I always have a saying, I think we've seen the flag fly more than we've seen the football fly.
Yes, sir. And that's going both ways, on both teams.
As Hardiman makes the catch, it seems as if it's going to be against North Shore yet again as they move back. And now this makes this 3rd down just a tad bit more difficult.
and that's another thing with the familiarity with these two teams. There's going to be a lot of chippiness, and there's a lot of pride between the two teams of who's going to determine the outcome of this game. So it's a lot of pride of bragging rights as far as who will win this game.
Here we go. One receiver to the short side of the field. Bailey takes a snap, looking nice and calm in the pocket. Takes a strike, goes across the numbers, and he's got a man along the 30.
Is that tight end?
25-20, bumped out of bounds at about the 16-yard line, and that'll move the chains. Bailey took his time in the pocket, found exactly who he wanted, and that is what experience gets you, Coach. You talked about it in the pregame, and this is a prime example, just looking at the way Bailey lets the play develop.
Yeah, he does a good job of keeping his composure, looking down the field, not looking at the rush. And like I said, what's unique about North Shore that they do use their tight end.
Here we go. Bailey's going to keep it himself. Makes a man miss. Gets to the outside, has a block. At the 4, 5, 3 into the end zone. Did he get it? No, they'll mark him at the 1-yard line as Bailey skips his way from the sideline. Thought he had the end zone. And it appeared that if maybe he did, as we look at the replay here, we'll definitely have a better view. As Bailey got tripped up at around the 15, had a fantastic block at the 5, reached out. Oh, I think he might have got that one, Coach.
Yeah, it looked his body, but maybe he might have stepped out with his foot. I mean, the referee was right there, but he did cross the pylon with the ball. You are correct on that.
Here we go. Hardiman handoff into the end zone, punches it through, and that's going to be 6 for North Shore.
One thing you got to give credit on North Shore for that drive, that they converted 3 third down and long situations.
In one drive.
Exactly, and that's one thing when you have a signal caller like somebody like Bailey who has that experience, he never seems to lose composure, but, when he's won a state championship as a freshman, I don't think anything can faze him other than that.
When you go against the Gootens and Goblins of 6A like the Westfields, the Duncanvilles, the DeSotos, to get used to this level of competition as Cruz likes to snap the hole, the kick through the uprights, and good. And with 1:35 remaining in this one, North Shore using 3 third-down conversions to convert. 28-9. Back in 30 seconds, this is Texas High School football on the Antler Sports Network, ASN2, and ASN Radio.
Find your support system. At Texas Wesleyan, you'll get the one-on-one attention you need to succeed. Texas Wesleyan, small classes, big scholarships. Now that's smaller, smarter.
Back here at Planet Ford Stadium, contest between 2 ranked ball clubs, the 2nd-ranked North Shore Mustangs taking on the 23rd-ranked Westfield Mustangs. North Shore holding the advantage up 28-9. Jared Jones, former Spring ISD athletic director and president of our partners over at the Hispanic Texas High School Football Coaches Association, Coach Armando Jacinto, in the booth with you tonight. Minute 35 remaining in the first half of play. In our first game of 2 days worth of football. Coach, this is a pretty exciting time of year. You got the NFL starting up,
yes,
college football, high school football. This is a football fan's dream.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm going to do tomorrow. Just start with Colorado and Nebraska and finish up with Oklahoma State and Arizona State.
As a TCU fan, I don't really want to hear Colorado right about now, but I digress. Minute and a half now after the kickoff, and Westfield is going to have some pretty tough field position to start things off.
And then continue as we were talking about. Continue Sunday with the 12 o'clock games of NFL, then the 3 o'clock, and watch the Cowboys at night, and watch Monday Night Football with the Jets and the Bills.
See, Coach, you had me until you got to the Cowboys. I was on your side. I got to admit, you had me there.
Well, I am a TCU fan because one of my former athletes who I coach is one of the TCU's all-time greats. So I'll always be true blue TCU.
Plenty of talent coming through this Westfield Mustang program. Even some NFL talent. Minute 29 remaining here. Westfield's going to start 1st and 10 at the 11-yard line. Man in motion. Going to be a handoff to Atkins, and Atkins gets stuffed at the line of scrimmage and maybe even lost a yard or two. He did. He lost one and that's going to make it 2nd down and 11 after the tackle was made by Jarvin Coles.
The one thing that Westfield has to be careful. I know they want to try to score to stay, still cut it down to 2 touchdowns with knowing that they'll get the ball in the second half. However, you want to be careful with the ball so you don't turn it over here and give them a short field. Well, then they go up by 4 touchdowns, and then now you're really behind the 8 ball starting the second half.
And it seems like Atkins is hurt down on the field, and while he gets attended to, we'll take a break. Back after this, North Shore 28, Westfield 9, 2nd and 11 coming up after this. As Atkins is treated to. We see Miles Dent so far has definitely stepped up in this ball game with 1:03 remaining. As we prepare for halftime, we'll try to get some stats for you, maybe even some scores from across the state. As Atkins steps off of the field, reinforcements for Westfield trot onto the field. Coach, you got a couple of scores you're taking a look at over there?
Yes, I'm looking. One of the big games in this area is Summer Creek and Klein Collins, and Summer Creek is beating Klein Collins 20-0 at halftime.
Klein Collins, that's some consider a possible state championship team.
Exactly. But Summer Creek is always making it to the 3rd or 4th round till they run into North Shore.
Into North Shore.
Exactly. So
seems to be a recurring theme here.
Yeah, and that coach does a good job over there.
And it seems that Westfield trotting back onto the field now for the 2nd and 11 play. Clock still rolling. 45 seconds remaining. 10 seconds on the play clock. Dent waiting. 5 seconds on the play clock. Looking to the sideline, and it might be a possible timeout.
Call a timeout.
And there will be. And it seems like Westfield will take yet another timeout. They'll have one more remaining. 34 seconds remaining in this one, and we'll keep it here for what could possibly be the last 2 plays of the first half of play. Now, Coach, again, going back to this beautiful facility, of course, the Wildcats of Decaney, the currently playing Mustangs of Westfield, and the Lions of Spring all play here at Planet Ford Stadium, a very new stadium built within the last 5 years, another string in the many beautiful facilities that are popping up across the major cities and areas of the state of Texas. But to our right here in the booth, there's a nice conference center that I have the pleasure of getting our pregame meal here. It's a very nice conference room. And what are some of the events that you host in that facility?
Well, we hold like coaches meetings. They also hold professional development meetings. We also have community events that are held here where people can also rent the facility for different events that they have, like birthday parties or anniversaries or just banquets. So it's for the community, not just for the district. And that's one reason that's another reason that it was built to provide not just for the district but also for the community.
2nd and 11 play here. Pre-snap flags are thrown. Coach, I don't know about you, but I think that a wedding at this level of facility would be absolutely killer, at least for me. I wouldn't mind having a wedding at this nice
facility.
Facility.
They also have proms, and athletic banquets. So it's been used for multiple events. Also, we've had in the summer. They've also used the video board and had showed movies, made it and allowed for free. So allowed the community to come out and watch movies on the video board. So it's multifaceted, something that the entire community can take advantage of. It's not just for the district.
That last penalty, pre-snap penalty called against the Westfield Mustangs. That'll make it 2nd down and about 16 to go with 33 seconds left. That'll make this 2nd down a tad bit more difficult. Yeah. 33 seconds remaining in the first half of play. Westfield down 28-9. It's going to be a handoff given up the middle, and Westfield might have gotten to the original line of scrimmage.
Exactly. That was a good, tough run by Dent. It looked like North Shore is going to call timeout and try to get the ball back and try to see if they can do something if Westfield does not convert on this third down.
And it's indeed a Westfield timeout, and we will take it with them. We'll be back in 30 seconds. 24 seconds remaining in this one. High school football back after this.
Find your support system. At Texas Wesleyan, you'll get the one-on-one attention you need to succeed. Texas Wesleyan, small classes, big scholarships. Now that's smaller, smarter.
Texas Wesleyan University football lives here on Antler Sports Network. Find all of their games that we broadcast for the Rams on ASN2. Next game will be in a couple of weeks on the 23rd of September as Texas Wesleyan will be hosting St. Thomas University out of Miami, Florida. After that, their next game will be on October 28th as they travel to Christus Trinity Mother Francis Rose Stadium in the Rose City of Tyler, Texas to take on the Steers of Texas College. And to round out our college football broadcast slate on November 11th, the Rams will be hosting fellow conference opponent in the Sooner Athletic Conference in the Wildcats of Louisiana Christian. All Texas Wesleyan broadcasts presented to you by Simple Simon's Pizza. Miles going downfield, incomplete. That pass was intended for Austin Abram yet again. Abram has been the main deep threat for Westfield so far. Just hasn't been able to get too many big-time plays as a result. And with 18 seconds left, as we look at the replay here, Abrams looked like he had just a tad bit of separation. But maybe the wind might have gotten that one because Abrams definitely beat his man off the line.
Exactly.
But they'll have to settle for 4th down and 9.
The one thing that seemed like the receiver needs to do, he needs to give the quarterback more room to work with when he throws a pass down the fade route like that, because even if he would have caught it, he'd have been out of bounds. So that's more on the onus of the receiver to give the quarterback by his alignment, give him more room to work with so he could throw that ball in the bucket on the fade route like that.
Low snap, not a lot of distance, but plenty of height, and this gets a big North Shore roll. It's just going to be down around the 31-yard line, and wow. 10 seconds left, and North Shore has prime field position. As we look at the punt, it definitely had the height, just didn't get the correct spin, I guess you can say, as it took a bounce and definitely took a North Shore bounce, as they'll have it 1st down and 10 from the 31-yard line. 10 seconds remaining.
Westfield might want to be in his zone coverage because with the success that North Shore's had with the deep ball, they're going to go. They have nothing to lose by throwing to the end zone.
Definitely don't want to give up anything over the top, especially anything too simple. There's a big opportunity here to try to keep North Shore's offense at bay.
And you also got to be mindful of the quarterback because he can take it and run and take it to the house too. Indeed,
he can. Multiple offensive threats for North Shore. Let's see what they end up going with. Here's the snap. Bailey hit as he throws, gets the 1st down, and Morph smartly gets out of bounds. Pass hauled in by Cameron Smith yet again. And that'll move the chains once more. North Shore, so far on offense, when it comes to the short stuff and staying in the flat, that's been a big success for them. And if it ain't broke, definitely one try to fix it.
Exactly. And Bailey did a good job of hanging in there because he had pressure in his face, and he stood right in there and delivered the pass was right on target on the out route to the receiver to the top.
Here we go. Possible field goal to end out the first half on a high note. Cruz looking to extend the lead. The snap.
circus is fun, but it's not something that you should have in your backyard. I'm thankful we chose Yosemite for our roof. It looks great. They did an amazing job. But I guess some people like the circus.
In a world filled with chaos and the unexpected, you can always count on Yosemite for your roofing needs. Isn't that right, Nancy?
Find your support system. At Texas Wesleyan, you'll get the one-on-one attention you need to succeed. Texas Wesleyan, small classes, big scholarships. Now that's smaller, smarter.
My name is Chance Ducote, and I'm the pre-owned sales manager at Moritz Chevrolet. The Moritz Promise is a lifetime warranty on the engine and transmission that's given to you at no cost. It's good for the lifetime as long as you own the vehicle. As long as the car is 10 years old or newer and has under 100,000 miles when you buy it, it's going to come with that. It's going to cover everything, all your lubricated parts that's part of your engine or your transmission. Come see us today at Moritz Chevrolet, home of the Moritz Promise. Not only is it going to give you a lifetime warranty, it's going to give you peace of mind and confidence to buy with us.
If you or a loved one have multiple daily prescriptions, knowing what to take when can be confusing.
This is the Brick Street Daily Dose Packet.
That's Brick Street Pharmacy owner Kimberly Abel.
All of your medications are going to be in a sleeve of bubbles, telling you what time of day to take them. They're all separated out already. It's in perforated packs, and it's a tear-off system.
The Brick Street Pharmacy Daily Dose Pack organizes a month's worth of prescriptions into a single, simple, easy-to-follow package.
When you go check on your mom, you're not having to go into her house and back count her vials to find out if she remembered to take her medicine. Saves you an office visit, keeps everybody compliant. You know everything's going well because they're taking all their medication.
The Daily Dose Pack is a Brick Street Pharmacy exclusive. It's not available from the chain pharmacy, and it doesn't add a penny to the cost of your prescriptions. Brick Street Pharmacy is in Tyler's Azalea District on Rusk, a block and a half west of South Broadway. They're online at brickstreetmedical.com. brickstreetmedical.com.
Hello, I'm Mike Munn with Mike Munn State Farm, where I've been your local agent since 1980. We understand the dedication and passion it takes to succeed. Whether you're a rookie or a seasoned pro, we've got your back. From protecting your home, your cars, or even your dreams, Mike Munn State Farm is here to help you. We're like coaches at Mike Munn State Farm, guiding you through every step to create a winning game plan, tailored just for you. So when life throws you a curve, remember, Mike Munn State Farm is here to help you. Call us at 903-561-4535 or at www.mikemunn.net. Thanks.
most important purchases you'll ever make. It's how you drive to work, how you take the kids to school, and how you get to some of life's biggest moments. Why not treat your car as such? Visit Thompson Tire and Services in Tyler on 3021 South Bonner Avenue. Joe Thompson and his team of professionals bring decades of under-the-hood experience to ensure that your car runs at its best. Any make, any model, Thompson Tire and Services is the only place to get the best service for your car in the entire East Texas area. Thompson Tire and Services in Tyler, proud sponsor of the Antler Sports Network.
At the halfway mark, as the North Shore Mustangs currently ahead of the Westfield Mustangs by a score of 31-9. Another brief reminder that tomorrow on ASN2 and ASN Radio will be a presentation of college football as the Steers of Texas College travel up north to take on the Bears of University of Central Arkansas. Kickoff for that game expected to be about 7 o'clock p.m. Central, pregame at 6:30. We'll continue our halftime break back in 6 minutes. This is Texas High School Football on the Antler Sports Network, ASN Radio, and ASN2.
Circus is fun, but it's not something that you should have in your backyard. I'm thankful we chose Yosemite for our roof. It looks great, they did an amazing job, but I guess some people like the circus.
In a world filled with chaos and the unexpected, you can always count on Yosemite for your roofing needs. Isn't that right, Nancy?
Find your support system. At Texas Wesleyan, you'll get the one-on-one attention you need to succeed. Texas Wesleyan, small classes, big scholarships. Now that's smaller, smarter.
My name is Chance Ducote, and I'm the pre-owned sales manager at Moritz Chevrolet. The Moritz Promise is a lifetime warranty on the engine and transmission that's given to you at no cost. It's good for the lifetime as long as you own the vehicle. As long as the car is 10 years old or newer and has under 100,000 miles when you buy it, it's going to come with that. It's going to cover everything, all your lubricated parts that's part of your engine or your transmission. Come see us today at Moritz Chevrolet, home of the Moritz Promise. Not only is it going to give you a lifetime warranty, it's going to give you peace of mind and confidence to buy with us.
If you or a loved one have multiple daily prescriptions, knowing what to take when can be confusing.
This is the Brick Street Daily Dose Packet.
That's Brick Street Pharmacy owner Kimberly Abel.
All of your medications are going to be in a sleeve of bubbles, telling you what time of day to take them. They're all separated out already. It's in perforated packs, and it's a tear-off system.
The Brick Street Pharmacy Daily Dose Pack organizes a month's worth of prescriptions into a single, simple, easy-to-follow package.
When you go check on your mom, you're not having to go into her house and back count her vials to find out if she remembered to take her medicine. Saves you an office visit, keeps everybody compliant. You know everything's going well because they're taking all their medication.
The Daily Dose Pack is a Brick Street Pharmacy exclusive. It's not available from the chain pharmacy, and it doesn't add a penny to the cost of your prescriptions. Brick Street Pharmacy is in Tyler's Azalea District on Rusk, a block and a half west of South Broadway. They're online at brickstreetmedical.com. brickstreetmedical.com.
Hello, I'm Mike Munn with Mike Munn State Farm, where I've been your local agent since 1980. We understand the dedication and passion it takes to succeed. Whether you're a rookie or a seasoned pro, we've got your back. From protecting your home, your cars, or even your dreams, Mike Munn State Farm is here to help you. We're like coaches at Mike Munn State Farm, guiding you through every step to create a winning game plan, tailored just for you. So when life throws you a curve, remember, Mike Munn State Farm is here to help you.
One of the most important purchases you'll ever make. It's how you drive to work, how you take the kids to school, and how you get to some of life's biggest moments. Why not treat your car as such? Visit Thompson Tire and Services in Tyler on 3021 South Bonner Avenue. Joe Thompson and his team of professionals bring decades of under-the-hood experience to ensure that your car runs at its best. Any make, any model, Thompson Tire and Services is the only place to get the best service for your car in the entire East Texas area. Thompson Tire and Services in Tyler, proud sponsor of the Antlers.
Circus is fun, but it's not something that you should have in your backyard. I'm thankful we chose Yosemite for our roof. It looks great, they did an amazing job, but I guess some people like the circus.
In a world filled with chaos and the unexpected, you can always count on Yosemite for your roofing needs. Isn't that right, Nancy?
Find your support system. At Texas Wesleyan, you'll get the one-on-one attention you need to succeed. Texas Wesleyan, small classes, big scholarships. Now that's smaller, smarter.
Back at the halfway mark in this ranked 6A matchup between the 23rd ranked Mustangs of Spring Westfield and the second ranked team in the land of the North Shore Mustangs. Scores 31-9, of course, both bands on the field performing for our listening pleasure. Great job for both of the bands so far tonight. About 6.5 minutes before we resume play in quarter number 3. Couple of stats so far. Looking at North Shore Bailey, 10 completions for 204 yards. And it's been the rushing attack as well, helping that North Shore offense. Hardeman has 10 rushes for almost 70 yards, currently sitting at 62, so definitely be on the watch for the rest of his numbers throughout the game. Atkins so far this evening has done a great job on the ground, 37 yards. He was shaken up a bit early in the second quarter. Going to try to get an update on him. Hopefully he's okay. No pun intended, but he has definitely been a big workhorse for this Westfield Mustang offense. And the passing attack did, as the game went on, did a great job of staying in the pocket, similar to Bailey, being patient and making big-time plays. Currently sitting at 3 completions out of 7 attempts for about 23 yards, but most of those yards have been yards after the catch. The receiving core for Westfield doing everything they can against this tough North Shore front line. We're going to take one last break. When we come back, it'll be third quarter action. North Shore 31, Westfield 9. And this is Texas High School football on the Antler Sports Network, ASN2, and ASN Radio.
Circus is fun, but it's not something that you should have in your backyard. I'm thankful we chose Yosemite for our roof. It looks great, they did an amazing job, but I guess some people like the circus.
In a world filled with chaos and the unexpected, you can always count on Yosemite for your roofing needs. Isn't that right, Nancy?
Find your support system. At Texas Wesleyan, you'll get the one-on-one attention you need to succeed. Texas Wesleyan, small classes, big scholarships. Now that's smaller, smarter.
we've already played 2 quarters of football, and now we're moments away from quarter number 3. North Shore kicking the football back off. Westfield and the All Black going to be going from right to left on your respective device. On the return, going to be taken down at about the 31-yard line, and that's where Westfield will take over 1st and 10. Jared Jones, former Spring ISD athletic director, now retired athletic director, Coach Armando Jacinto with us in the booth. And Coach, it's been 2 quarters of football. What are your initial thoughts on how this game has gone? Let's start with the Mustangs of Westfield.
Talked about, but I've been pleasantly surprised by the play of the quarterback. He's really had a lot of improvement from last week, and the main thing that's really been concerning, and that's North Shore's been able to capitalize on it, is the secondary play, be able to beat them with some long passes down the field. And on the other side, the quarterback for you have a playmaker like that. He's done a great job of keeping his composure and making plays and converting on those 3rd downs.
Bailey's had a big game so far, and now it's Dent going deep to open up the half, and it's incomplete. Great downfield defense there by North Shore. No flags, thankfully. It's good to not see a flag every once in a while.
And that's Taji Atkins back in, but he came in before the end of the half, so it seems like he's okay, and it seemed like he was he's going to be able to play the second half, but he did come in at the end of the first half after he missed 1 or 2 plays. But kind of like we talked about earlier, you say how he gave the quarterback a lot more room to throw on that fade. The secondary just did a good job of covering him, but that was a good pass. It just secondary had good coverage on that play.
If you're Atkins and the rest of this Westfield Mustang offense, you're not really in panic mode yet, but you definitely are starting to feel a tad bit of desperation. You don't want to be down too big against an explosive team on both sides of the ball, such as Westfield. It seems we have a flag pre-snap. Oh, no, maybe a timeout. And it is a timeout for Westfield.
And another thing that just brought something back to my attention, Jared, there's a lot of penalties on both sides of the ball. And I know it's kind of still early, and they're still having some of those non-forced penalties like illegal procedures, delay games, or something that you don't normally see in this time of the season, the 3rd game. Most of that stuff is cleaned up. Well, that's something that both teams need to clean up, because it seems like both teams are very good teams, and they look like they're going to make deep runs in the playoffs like they have in the past.
And having this be a rivalry game, 2 of the Houston area's most prolific programs, definitely doesn't help things much. A lot of bragging rights on the line here, Coach, as you described earlier in the first half. But now after the Westfield timeout, both teams trot back onto the field. It's going to be 2nd down and 10 balls on the 28-yard line. We're just about to cross the 11.5-minute mark of this game. No receivers now for Westfield. Now check that. Atkins gets in motion. Dent looking, jump pass across the middle, incomplete. Westfield wanting a pass interference there. That pass was intended for Westfield's number 9, Desmond Dixon, the 6'3", 200-pound senior receiver, cutting across the middle, but wasn't able to fully collapse on the football, and that'll bring up 3rd and long.
The play design, it seemed like he was open, but it seemed like the quarterback had his eyes on him the whole time. So that allowed the secondary back to cover him, and he had a little bit better coverage. It'd have been a tough pass to get in there.
3rd down and 10 for Westfield. Abram looks like he might be a tight end. Lone receiver at the top of the formation. Abrams now in motion, cuts back out. Dent takes a snap, and it looks like don't really see a flag. I don't see a flag. Maybe a timeout. No.
Back judge threw a flag. It's going to be a delay game.
It is indeed a delay a game penalty against Westfield. And that'll make this 3rd down just a tad bit more difficult. About 3rd down and Cypress Wood Road, 3rd and 14 officially after the delay a game penalty. 11.5 minutes remaining to go into quarter number 3. Same formations. Abram back at the tight end spot. He's in motion and does the exact same V-cut. Now gets out as a receiver. Dent takes a snap, immediately looking right. Pocket collapses, and he gets brought down. He's going to lose about 4. That'll bring him back to about the 19-yard line. On the tackle for North Shore is going to be Lamani Jackson. Jackson, 265 pounds, and got to the quarterback pretty quickly there.
Well, they rushed 5, and one thing, when you have a man-on-man, all you need is one guy to win. And what you do, that's going to put pressure on the quarterback. And you had one guy defeat that won his battle, and that's all you need in order to put some pressure on the quarterback. And then the other ones collapsed, and they were able to sack the quarterback.
Score at 31-9. Westfield looking to punt this thing away. Lone man back deep for North Shore is going to be Paul Porter. Low snap. Westfield gets it off. Porter gets under at about the 49, and he's going to take it himself. Gets a pretty good block. No possible block in the back, but no call. But Porter does indeed get brought down in North Shore territory. That tackle was made. No, there's a flag right around the at the 29-yard line.
Looked like there might be a holding on North Shore on that return, because that's where the flag was thrown, and there was two North Shore guys blocking on the Westfield defender. Looked like the North Shore might have had a wall set up to the left to their sideline, but Westfield did a good job of coverage on that punt.
Coach, 100% correct. Holding called against North Shore.
First and 10.
All spring ISD teams will get a bit of a break next week, but after that, on September 22nd, Westfield will be taking on spring in an all-spring ISD affair. North Shore will be playing that same weekend on the 22nd against Beaumont United. So after the penalty is going to be first down and long. Ball's on the 38-yard line. Bailey takes a snap. He's going to hand it off now back to the outside. Bounces across the 50. Looking at the 45 now. Gets brought down at around the 42-yard line on that to move the chains yet again. Hardiman's had a very solid game so far. One thing we know about Westfield, they're going to have a good running back and they're going to have a fast running back. The past 2 seasons, they have definitely had it so, and Hardiman looks to be continuing the trend.
And that just goes back to the success they had in the first half with the misdirection. That time they pulled the guard and the tight end, so they had success on the misdirection play along with the pulling the guards too, with the pin and pull or the buck as it's called. So they've done a great job on the running game.
Bailey going deep, and it's incomplete. Thought he would have had a touchdown there. Thought he had 6, but the pass is broken up by number 6, Joseph Albright. Albright's done a great job keeping the speed and athleticism of this North Shore receiving corps in check, Coach.
Yes, he did a good job on that one. It seemed like they made some adjustments. In the second quarter on, it seemed like the Westfield did a better job adjusting to the long passes that North Shore had success in the first quarter. But that was a well-thrown pass, but Albright did a good job of defending on that pass and breaking that up.
The incompletion and deflection from Albright brings up at 2nd and 10. Bailey takes a snap, hands it over to Hardiman. Hardiman gets hit at the line of scrimmage, and he might have gotten a yard, and that's all he'll have to accept on that last carry. Tackle made by Devin Smith. That's Smith's 3rd tackle of the game with 9:49 left to go in quarter number 3.
And again, Jared, there was another misdirection play, counter play, pull in the backside guard and tackle. And that's where they've had most of the success in the run game from the first half, so they're kind of sticking to that. And that's what great coaches do. They stick with something that works until the defense stops it.
Coach, as we always say, if it ain't broke, no need to try to fix it.
Exactly.
Here on 3rd and 9, pass is out and complete to Caleb Thomas. Very big target, Thomas is, but isn't going to get to the line to gain, and that'll make it 4th down and around 5.
And it looks like they're going to go for it, like Coach Gass is going to go for it. And it's a good position because the defense has been playing pretty well. So I think this is a good decision by him to try to get this first down. And they've been very successful when they have 3rd and 4th downs in the first half.
The late down game has been a staple of the North Shore offense so far. Here's Bailey, heavy pressure on him, passes incomplete, intended for the flat, and Westfield forces the turnover on downs and will take over with pretty good field position. Ball's going to be at the 36-yard line. Westfield again in the all-black tops, bottoms, and helmets. Was Westfield in script, white lettering and numerals outlined in red, with the SMU-esque logo in red outlined in white, glistening across the helmets with a red, black, and white stripe across the top of the helmet. North Shore in white tops, red bottoms, red helmet with a silver Mustang that shines pretty much from all 11 players, as now Westfield will take back over 1st and 10. Here's Dent. Dent dumps it off to Atkins. Atkins stutters, says it isn't going to get much farther. He's going to lose yardage. Almost had the corner with the turnaround, but no dice as the tackle is made by Levante Johnson. That's his 3rd tackle, his 1st tackle for a loss on the evening. It's 8:34 remaining in quarter number 3, and now it's 2nd and 15.
It seems like after that first couple of possessions in the first half, it seems like the Westfield has kind of gotten away from the run game with Atkins, and I would like to see them go back to that and see if they can have success like they had at the beginning of the first quarter of the game.
Atkins definitely made his impact on the first half of play. Here's Dent. Dent throw across the middle, incomplete, and that there is a flag along the far side on the opposite 30. That was intended for Abram, as official runs, well, the line judge on the far side runs across the field, and as we await the call. Again, a reminder that tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central, kickoff between the Steers of Texas College and the Bears of the University of Central Arkansas, live from Eastfield on the campus of the Purple and Gray. The broadcast will be audio only on ASN2, on the ASN2 YouTube channel, and also on ASN Radio, which you can find by downloading the free Antler Sports Network mobile app on Apple and Android devices, and also online on our homepage, and listen to live radio and past broadcasts at antlersn.com/listen. Powered by East Texas Benefits, local knowledge you can trust. Penalty is going to be called against the Mustangs of Westfield. Definitely could have been one of the more confusing games, Coach, that I've ever done. We have 2 Mustangs, both red and white. So, but thankfully, I don't think I've messed up too much. At least I don't think so. 3rd and long. Here we go. Bailey winds up, goes deep, out of bounds. Nobody home. Pass was indeed intended for Abram yet again. Again, Abram has been the main deep ball target.
And that just goes back to the first half. Remember what we talked about, Jared, is that receiver has to give the quarterback a little more room to work with when they throw that fade. That receiver's allowing that DB to push him out of bounds, so it's going to be hard to complete a pass. So he's got to give the quarterback more help when you run that route on that from the outside receiver.
4th and 15, and it looks like it's going to be punting time with Porter back deep for North Shore. Looking to do the kicking honors for Westfield is one of the many amazing special teams kickers, and that is a booming kick. It's going to be hauled in by Porter at about the 35. He turns the quarter, looking across the hash, and he does. Breaks one tackle, but doesn't break the second one. That tackle is going to be made at around the 33-yard line. Excuse me, the 37-yard line as things get a bit chippy again. That tackle is going to be accredited to Howard Ford. Ford, that's his 2nd special teams tackle. So great downfield defense continuing for Westfield. They just have to get things done as we have a flag back at the 40-yard line. Penalty is going to be called against Westfield, I believe. But either way, North Shore will take it back over 1st down and 10.
Westfield's last 2 punts have done a good job of coverage with the punt team, because North Shore was trying to set up both times set up a wall to their sideline, but Westfield's done a great job of coveraging and keeping the yardage to a minimum on that return, because their return guy is very dangerous.
Indeed, it has, especially with the breakaway speed and acceleration that Porter has. Almost any kick return can be dangerous in an instant. 7:47 remaining. Ball's on the 38-yard line here in this 3rd quarter of play. And an Hispanic Texas High School Football Coaches Association Game of the Week on the Antler Sports Network. In a moment, we'll give an update on the upcoming games of the week that we will have, courtesy of our longtime partners. Bailey takes a snap. He hands it off to Hardiman. Hardiman gets blown up but stays up and eventually gets alligator rolled down as Jordan James made initial contact. Almost fell completely, but kept his upper body strength and his core strength, and eventually made the big-time tackle there. There's already a flag mere moments before the play begins, starting at the 45-yard line.
I'll start. Offense, 5 yards, still second down.
As you heard, penalty is going to be called against the Mustangs of North Shore. Clock will roll.
And there's a great crowd tonight on both sides. That North Shore side, on the visitor side, looks about 3/4 full, and about the same on the Westfield side. So it's a great crowd tonight to watch two great teams.
Well, of course, this is not only a game between two top Houston area programs, with that last carry getting no gain and resulting in 3rd and 7. But it's also the second-ranked team versus the 23rd-ranked team, so you would expect a pretty good-sized turnout.
Yes, sir, and this is with the tradition and the success that both programs had, and there's always big crowds when these two teams always play, no matter whether they're playing in Galena Park or they're playing here at Planet Ford Stadium.
Man in motion, Bailey immediately pressured, steps up, and is going to take off again. Across midfield, and has Smith at the 40, 45, 30. Crossing again, has a flag thrown, but he's at the 20-15, gets pushed out of bounds. The flag was starting around the 22-yard line, almost the 23.
And there's going to be a block on the back, so that's going to come back. Still going to be a good gain, but it's going to come back and maybe to about the 35-yard line, but that's a great job by the quarterback of escape. He had a guy right in his face and made a move, and like I said, you got to contain him because he can hurt you both with the arm and with the legs.
As we've seen Bailey, a definite multi-tool quarterback, as he's had a pretty good game so far. The rest of our games of the week, our next one will be on Thursday, a special Thursday game on October 5th, as the Trojans of Newman Smith will be hosting the Bison of Dallas Sunset. Kickoff from Standard Stadium in Carrollton, Texas, will be at 7 p.m. Central. We'll also be heading to San Antonio for the first time. We'll be able to check out head coach Tony Manning, the social media director for the association, as he leads his Brackenridge Eagles against the Hurricanes of Sam Houston from Alamo Stadium. Kickoff from 7 o'clock. And what some could consider the game of the year on October 27th, Duncanville versus DeSoto. The two state champions will duke it out from Eagle Stadium at 7 p.m. Central. You can tune into all games both on ASN 1 and 2 online at antlersn.com/watch. Brought to you by East Texas Benefits, local knowledge you can trust. First down and 10 now for North Shore. It's a handoff, and he's going to get about 3, crossing the 30 and gets to about the 28-yard line. That carry was from Cameron Smith. Smith typically is either a backup quarterback or even a running back every once in a while. And he is going to be under center. Looks like Bailey taking a bit of a breather here. New running back as well. Checking in is going to be Najee Alexander. Man in motion now. Snap taken, fakes the handoff, kicks it to the outside to Gilroy. Gilroy has space along the 10, steps out of bounds, knocking on the door of the Westfield red zone, and now it seems like the roles have reversed. Westfield in the first half had a lot of offensive consistency, getting into the flat, working the sidelines, and now it seems like that's North Shore's game plan as they open up this second half.
Well, and also going back to the game plan as far as the misdirection on the run game, they just used that play action, but misdirection and brought the H-back out into the flat, and he was wide open.
Definitely has plenty of space. 5:44 remaining in this one. Gilroy in motion yet again. Smith takes a snap. He rolls out to his left. Has pressure. Looking. Has maybe one more man to beat. Tries to stiff arm. Gets him off of him. Spins, but he's going to gain about 3 as he crosses inside the 10-yard line, and that'll be about second down and 8 or maybe even 7.
Now the Westfield outside linebacker did a good job of containing and not overcommitting and just running him to the sideline and kept the game. It still was a game, but kept the game minimum. If he wouldn't have done that, Bailey could have had a touchdown on that play action rollout.
Smith now in at QB. Chris Thomas in at running back. The lone slot receiver gets in motion. It's a handoff up the middle, and it seems like Thomas got popped about 2 steps into his run. Isn't going to get much farther than maybe 2 yards. And Westfield strikes again, using that size and athleticism they have up front to try to minimize this big-time rushing game for North Shore. 3rd and 4 after the Alexander carry. 3 receivers on the wide side of the field. Play clock at 17. Christopher Barnes in motion now as a tight end. Here's a handoff. No, it's going to be a keeper. Keeper turns the corner. Big time hit into the end zone. And touchdown as Bailey steps back in. Gets the 5-yard rush. And that'll extend the North Shore lead.
I got to give it to the offensive coordinator. He did a good job of keeping Westfield on their toes and not let them get comfortable. Did a lot of misdirection plays on that drive, and everything was successful. And they converted on all these misdirection plays. So I guess that's one of the adjustments. It seemed like they're doing a lot more misdirection, whether it's a pass or run play in that drive.
After the truck and score from Bailey, the PAT from Cruz is up. Hits the pylon. Does it fall in? And it did. Hits the upright and bounces its way in.
Good luck to you.
And that will extend the lead in dramatic fashion after the PAT. Our score here with 4:27 left to go in the third. North Shore 38, Westfield at 9. Back in 30 seconds. This is Texas High School football on the Antler Sports Network, ASN Radio, and ASN2. Back after the North Shore carry from Bailey from 5 was in for 6. And the PAT that goes off the pylon and, off the upright and good. That gives us our current 38-9 score in favor of the number 2 team in the state in the North Shore Mustangs. Looking to kick things off is Jonathan Soto. Soto, the 5'9", 185-pound junior, boots things away. And we're back off and running. Kickoff is going to be hauled in at about the 5, turning the corner, has plenty of space but gets rolled. It was plenty of potential on that return by Emmanuel Yancey, but not able to get too much farther. As Yancey definitely has acceleration and definitely has had big play potential as we've seen throughout this game. But so far seems like pretty much the story of this ballgame is just North Shore is simply one step ahead, but Westfield has definitely shown plenty of signs of offensive prowess as they come out for this 1st down and 10.
Yeah, they have. It's just North Shore just had a little bit more consistency on the offensive side of the ball. Now this goes back to Jerry. We talked about Westfield not getting too far, not too much behind the 8 ball, and putting too much pressure on the quarterback to try to deliver. Now, and North Shore knows that they're going to have to get into the passing game to try to make up this deficit.
Dent rolls out. He's going to be drugged down after gaining 1. Tackle was made. Trying to get a number. It was made by number 5, Devontae Johnson, the defensive back. And at 6'3", he pretty much started on the other side of the field, crossed fields to bring Dent down. And that's just Houston High School football for you. There are athletes literally everywhere. Pretty much in almost every sport as well. As we know, both of these teams in separate regions. North Shore hailing from 6A Region 3, District 21. Westfield hailing from Region 2, District 14. But even then, both of these teams very familiar with each other. Westfield holding the 6-4 advantage since 2004. The Mustangs of Westfield, a very consistent ball club, as a timeout gets called, and we'll take it with them. We'll take about a 30-second break. Back after this, it's Texas High School football on the Antler Sports Network. ASN2 is ASN Radio, brought to you by East Texas Benefits. Local knowledge you can trust. North Shore versus Westfield here on the Antler Sports Network. Two very storied programs. The Mustangs of Westfield have had 20 straight above 500 seasons. North Shore having 25 straight wins above 500. So for 2 decades, these have been two of the most consistent teams in the state of Texas. All time, North Shore has 324 wins, 161 losses, and 8 ties. Here's a handoff over to Atkins. Atkins had a brief moment early in the first half where he was a bit shaken up, but Coach, as you described, he came back out and he seems to be okay, already rumbling and stumbling after gaining 2, making this 3rd down and long for Westfield.
And I think one thing that why North Shore is so effective defensively is that the defense that they play, that they keep 7 in the box and play a lot of man, that those linebackers don't have to worry about really dropping in the pass coverage. They can play the run, and if they need to late on the pass, so then that way, it makes it harder to block because you got 5 on 7, and it's hard to block 5 on 7, and you can really be aggressive.
Here's Dent. Dent looking and gets rolled and brought down at the 20-yard line. He's going to lose about 7. The tackle behind the line of scrimmage made by Brian Sanders.
Is that the linebacker?
Indeed it is. Brian Sanders, a 5'11" senior.
Yeah, case in point, he stayed right on the line of scrimmage, even though it was a pass, so he didn't have nobody to cover. So when the quarterback started scrambling, he was able to come up and make a play. And, very few teams can do that, but the North Shore can. They're one of the few teams at any level in high school ball, and at any level that can know that you're going to have 7 in the box and play man, and it makes it. But one of the drawbacks, like we talked about, if you break that first level of defense, you can have a big game.
Indeed you can. 2:39 and ticking, remaining in quarter number 3. Porter again back deep for North Shore. Here's the punt, almost blocked, but successfully gets it off. Very high arcing kick and takes a big-time bounce. What appears to be the 44-yard line. No, check that. They say it went out of bounds well before that. They're going to call it the 49. And that's where Westfield will take over 1st and 10.
And then, and also know when you got Bailey back there handling that ball, your offense is explosive. You can take a little bit more chances knowing that your offense is very explosive, and they're going to put some points on the board.
And one thing Bailey definitely has made a couple of risky throws in that first half. We see him the time where he threw that one ball in double coverage where Westfield was almost able to pick it off as Jordan Lewis might have been a fingertip away from hauling in a big-time interception and probably could have costed them points. It appears we have an injured Westfield Mustang on the field.
Yeah. Oh, that's Abrams, and it looks like he's got a cramp. He's cramping up, which is pretty common in here early in the season with the humidity in the air. And people, I know people talk about the kids are out of shape. That, to me, that's what I thought also as a coach, but no, it's not. They hydrated enough. But what happens at this level, here in Houston, is it feels worse at this time than it does when the sun's out.
Easily.
The humidity. And you're talking about, and it's more about the metabolism of the athlete. If they somebody who's a heavy sweater, no matter how much water and then the intensity, they're going to cramp up. You see, we didn't have much issue in the first half. Now we're getting it because even though they're hydrated and they get plenty of things they need at halftime, they've used so much energy, and it's just like you gas in the car. You're using it more. You use it more than what you can put back in, and that's what happens. And it's not, people, they're out of shape. No, they're not out of shape. It's just a metabolism of the kid, because he's not. You see them, he's a slender kid. It's not like one of our big linemen. You see, none of our linemen have cramped up. So that's kind of been my philosophy that's changed. It's they're in shape. They're out there in 100-degree weather, But it's different here at this time because the humidity rises, and that's what causes you to sweat more, and that's when you see them cramping up. They didn't cramp up in the first half.
New quarterback in for Westfield is going to be Joshua Williams. As Williams' first snap gets off to a pretty rough start, they might give him forward progress to the line of scrimmage, and they indeed will. Multiple Westfield Mustangs there on the tackle, led by number 95, David Price, and Price made Williams pay the price. As it seems like we have another cramping coach, just as you mentioned. Looks like a possible another cramp. And one thing I definitely have to say, as someone that's born and raised in East Texas, Tyler, to be specific, the Houston Heat hits a lot different, especially coming through with the humidity. It was overcast. It was very humid and muggy coming up to the stadium today. It was some thunderstorms, and possibly thought it was going to be a much longer rain or storm delay than it ended up being to start this game off. But it's definitely important to say that the Houston Heat is a lot different. So as the Westfield Mustang gets attended to, we resume play back after the Williams gain of nothing. It's going to be second down and 10. Minute 55 and counting remaining in quarter number 3. Man in motion for North Shore is going to be Jalen Mays. This time it's going to be a keeper. Jordan Williams back out to the outside along the 50. Crosses midfield. Might have gained around 4. So I'll mark it about third down and 6, if not third down and 5.
And just kind of going back what we just discussed about the cramping. Also, you're seeing the players that we see cramping up is on the Westfield defensive side, because they've been on the field most out of all the offensive defense on both teams. Westfield defense has been on the field the most this entire game.
Minute 16 and counting. Jordan Williams fakes the handoff, and it's incomplete. Pass was intended for Tyler Johnson. Johnson and I going for that one, and that'll bring up fourth down. This is awkward territory as well. The ball's at about the 47, so a perfectly executed punt here for North Shore if they do end up punting for it and not going for maybe some razzle-dazzle, similar to what we saw from Westfield on the PAT earlier on in the first half of play. A well-placed punt here with a perfect amount of spin and a good bounce could put Westfield in a pretty murky circumstance with a minute 12 remaining in the third.
Yeah, it looked like they're starting to go more to the passing game, because that's going to be the best route in order to get back into the game. But one thing that's the advantage to North Shore, that they know that that Westfield's probably going to go to more of a passing game, so they can really pin their ears back and really put some heat on that quarterback.
Hunt is centered, gets a pretty good roll inside the 10, inside the 5, and is going to be down at the 4-yard line. That's a picture-perfect punt.
And it's going to pin them deep, and and so that you got to be careful, and we don't that Westfield don't get caught in the safety, because pretty sure they're going to get to that passing game in order to try to get back into this game, even though it's going to be real tough with this defense that North Shore has, and knowing that that's going to be what we're looking for. So like I said, they really can concentrate on rushing the passer and not so much worrying about the run game.
59 seconds remaining in quarter number 3. North Shore holding the 38-9 advantage. Coach might ask you for a couple of scores coming up as we get ready for quarter number 4. Here's Dent accompanying the Westfield offense. Man in motion. Dent takes a step forward, is going to keep it himself. Gets brought down, but maybe gained a yard. Tackle is going to be made by Jarvin Coles. Coles having a pretty good third quarter so far. That is his third tackle already in this quarter alone.
And it looks like Westfield has brought his substitute brought in the backup quarterback and the backup running back in order to, just be safe, and knowing this game might be out of hand. So in order to save their starters, in order for the district play coming up in 2 weeks.
And a pretty tough district indeed. They'll open up district play against a fellow Spring ISD team on the 22nd of this month against the Lions of Spring. Here's second down and 8. And it seems like a flag pre-snap.
We like the running back move before the snap.
Indeed, it will be a false start penalty called against Westfield. North Shore will be looking to take a much-needed rest as they will be hosting Beaumont United. Then it'll take on King on the 29th. in Summer Creek on October 5th. And Summer Creek, coaches, we talked about, is pretty much handing it to a state championship contender.
Yes, now it's 27-0 over Klein Collins in the fourth quarter. And I really would thought that game would have been a toss-up. I didn't think that Summer Creek would do what they're doing to Klein Collins.
And it seems that the quarter has ended. 12 minutes remaining in this one. The current score as it stands, North Shore 39, Westfield 9. Back after this 1 minute. This is Texas High School football on the Antler Sports Network, ASN Radio, and ASN2, powered by East Texas Benefits. Minutes remaining in this one as Westfield currently down here at home against the number 2 ranked team in the land, and the Mustangs of North Shore score currently sitting at 38-9. Jared Jones and the president of the Hispanic Texas High School Football Coaches Association and former Spring ISD athletic director, Coach Armando Jacinto. Coach, always a pleasure to not only carry the members of the fantastic association that has been a longtime partner of the Antler Sports Network, but to also have a little bit of hometown loving here from Spring ISD in beautiful Planet Ford Stadium as the quarter opens up with a run that'll result in a loss of around 3. That'll make it 3rd down and 11 for Westfield.
Well, we have a moment here. I just want to thank you for everything you do for our organization, and also for giving some exposure to Spring ISD and our wonderful facility. The wonderful facility here. I got to keep saying I don't work here no more. But the wonderful facility, and also giving great exposure to one of our teams, and also exposing North Shore, because they're a great football team, and giving great exposure for this area in the football and the facility in football that's provided here. And thank you for everything you do for us.
Yes, sir. The Hispanic Texas High School Football Coach Association will forever have a home on the Antler Sports Network. 11:02, and it seems that we have a flag from the back of the formation. It seems we might have a timeout as well. And as they take that timeout, we will take it with them. North Shore 39, Westfield 9. Back in 30 seconds. This is Texas High School football, Houston style, on the Antler Sports Network.
Find your support system. At Texas Wesleyan, you'll get the one-on-one attention you need to succeed. Texas Wesleyan, small classes, big scholarships. Now that's smaller, smarter.
Both teams coming back onto the field as we continue this ball game with 11:02 left to go. Now, Coach, we talked about this off air. North Shore has a pretty tough road ahead of them. They're currently 6th all-time in the most state titles in the state with 5. But to get there, to get possible title number 6, they got a pretty tough road in district play.
Yes, they have, Tascasita, which defeated Katy last week. You have Summer Creek that seemed to put in a pretty good beating on Klein Collins, and you have C.E. King, who went up and beat Allen last week. So that's I would refer that they're like a small SEC with those top 4 teams. And you have you have Humble, who was up until last night, they were 2-0. And so it's a very tough district, and that's one thing that all 4 teams. I think that's why they have such a tough non-district schedule, in order to prepare them for their tough district schedule, so they can get them prepared for a deep run in the playoffs.
They take on C.E. King on the 29th of this month, and they take on Summer Creek on the 5th of October, but not before they have a bye week after finishing this game here. 10:58 remaining in the ball game. Westfield looking to pump things away from their own 5-yard line. Very tough situation, but they get the kickoff, and it's a booming kick. Going to be hauled in by Porter at about the 40. Bobbles. The ball is loose, but Porter gets it back. Hot on his tail for Westfield was Jaron Greenwood. Greenwood was a bit shaken up earlier in this game, but he seems to be back onto the field and seems to be 100% still ready to go. And Porter, a slip-up, a rare slip-up from Porter. He's had a pretty good game, at least in the punt return aspect. But a rare mishap from him. Thankfully, he was able to recover and give North Shore pretty good field position, looking at first down and 10 balls on the 42-yard line with 10:50 remaining.
Now, one thing I do want to emphasize for both teams, that both teams have done a pretty good job with the kicking game as far as coverage, with their extra point kicking and their kickoff return game for Westfield, and the punt coverage for Westfield.
Handoff up the middle yet again, and it seemed on the far side a little bit of extracurriculars, but both teams, thankfully, we see a lot of chippy moments, to say the least, but we've had no ejection. I think we might have had 2 unsportsmanlike conduct calls. For a game of this magnitude, I can't be too upset at that.
Exactly. And then, like I said, with this being such a rivalry game, and I know a lot of these athletes know each other, and just having bragging rights of who's going to be the better team, there's going to be a lot of pride in trying to be successful. So that's normal in a rival game.
Man in motion for Westfield, in for North Shore, and it's going to be a handoff and a spin. Good chunk of yardage there on the 2nd and 7. Ball is carried by Avon Brown, getting his first snaps of the game. That's going to bring up a 3rd down and very short, maybe a yard, and that's exactly what they'll mark it. As now Westfield has another pretty good 3rd down opportunity. As it has a 50-50 call on defense, you can either sell out completely to the run, which North Shore has done a pretty good job in building up the run game, but you don't want to give up anything over the top, as we've seen North Shore want to air it out at certain points. It is going to be a handoff up the middle, got the first down and looking for more. Tackle was made by Westfield's number 35, Lathan Fletcher. Fletcher getting his first tackle of the game.
I want to also take this time also to commend Coach Gaston with the North Shore, still North Shore, and I wouldn't think of any less, because he's a North Shore player, North Shore graduate, so he knows about the culture, and he knows what was built with Coach Amon and was passed on to Coach K. So I wasn't one bit surprised. I knew North Shore was still going to be North Shore, because he's going to continue the tradition. And
pass is almost intercepted, but couldn't haul it in.
And keeping the culture established. They've done a great job did a great job tonight with the play calling and with the preparation of the team, because this was Westfield's still a good team, but North Shore still North Shore. So I wasn't one bit surprised. I knew they would still be just as good with Gaston as the taking over with K moving over to Rice.
Fletcher almost able to haul in the interception, but instead Westfield will have to settle for 2nd down and 10. High snap. It's a handoff to another new running back. That's Joan Zuniga, the 205, 5'11 running back. An absolute bowling ball as he barrels his way through, but he'll have to settle for getting a yard. No, they're going to call it no gain. Let's look at the replay here, try to get a better look at things. And yeah, Westfield's front line pretty much stood him up completely. Leading the charge for the Spring ISD school was Xavier McCray, all 300 pounds of him. That's a tough wall to try to get through, Coach.
Yeah, he's a 3-year starter, and McCray's done a great job, and I see him doing great things this year, and also hopefully have an opportunity to play at the next level.
Deep ball opportunity from Deontay Wilson to the back of the end zone is incomplete, but there is a flag. Once again, a lot of contact between defensive back and receiver. On the coverage for Westfield was Braylon Wyatt. The linebacker now getting out and getting with a little man-to-man coverage with 8:05 remaining in this one. This should be pretty interesting here. Seems as if the it's going to be against Westfield.
Looked like there was some premature contact by the DB from Westfield on that while the ball was in the air. But to me, those calls are very, very, subjective. So, it's kind of what the official sees, and somebody's going to be happy, somebody's going to be mad.
Of course. It's 8:05 remaining in this one. Wilson looking across the middle, incomplete. Pass was intended for Noah Warner, his first target of the game. Jordan Lewis again on the deflection, making it second down. I don't think I see any flags. Sometimes it's kind of awkward when you see this much of a pause, especially with the plethora of flags we saw early in the first half of play. Clock halted, 7:59 remaining in this one. North Shore, the second-ranked team in the state of 6A classification, currently up 38-9 on Westfield, who's 23rd ranked. Breaking up across the middle of the field and going at Zuniga. Zuniga rolls into the end zone, and it's touchdown North Shore. With 7:50 remaining in this one, the lead for the number 2 team in the state expands 44-9, barring the PAT. Zuniga with a 13-yard touchdown, getting his first touchdown of the game, subbing in the previous drive, and simply just barrels his way in, stays on his feet, pretty much just rolls off the Westfield defender to complete the touchdown run, and that might have been the hardest earned 13 yards I've seen in a while. As we await the PAT, Cruz lining up the 6'3", 200-pound kicker. That's a pretty tall kicker, about the size of your average point guard. The kick is up through the uprights and good. No need to hit the upright there. And the PAT is successful. 7:50 remaining in this one. It's been all North Shore. Back in 30 seconds. North Shore 45, Westfield 9. This is Texas High School football on the Antler Sports Network and ASN Radio. As play continues here in the fourth quarter, 7:50 remaining. It's been all North Shore as the North Shore Mustangs up 45-9 on the hosting Mustangs of Spring Westfield. Here at beautiful Planet Ford Stadium, home of the Dekaney Wildcats, the Spring Lions, and the Westfield Mustangs. Dekaney, last year we carried their playoff game against Harker Heights live from McLean Stadium in Waco, Texas. Last year we had 2 Westfield games. First game was over at Leonard George Stadium earlier in the year as they took down the Cougars of Aldine Nimitz in convincing fashion. And then later on that year in the postseason as they took on Duncanville from Georgetown Stadium for a chance at a state finals appearance. But now this is their third game on the Antler Sports Network, football-wise at least, as they take on the number 2 ranked Mustangs of North Shore. Jared Jones, former Spring ISD athletic director and president of the Hispanic Texas High School Football Coaches Association. Coach Armando Jacinto in the booth with you tonight with 7:50 remaining in this one. Cruz ready to tee things back up, and Coach, fair to say that the Lions are the only Spring ISD team left. Maybe we need to get a Lions game on. Complete the spring trifecta, if you will.
They'll welcome you anytime with anything that's going to give them some exposure to the athletic programs and our kids and our coaches. We welcome that, and spring always shows great hospitality.
Definitely, for sure. And showing some great running is Yancey. Yancey gets tripped up right at about the 40-yard line. He'll be brought down about the 37 with 7:40 left to go. Yancey pretty much turning something out of nothing there. The kick, as we look at the replay here, as the Westfield Mustangs get ready for first down. The ball initially hit at about the 15-yard line. Yancey picked it up, almost didn't want to pick it up initially with multiple North Shore Mustang defenders around him, and turned what should have been a loss of about 4 from the initial bounce into knocking on the door of North Shore territory. First down at 10. Westfield will take over from the 40-yard line with 7:40 remaining in the ball game.
So you've seen these two teams now, Jared. What's kind of your perspectives as from both teams?
Both teams
moving forward.
It's pretty much the exact same thing when it comes to Westfield from the previous season. When you go against the North Shores and the Duncanvilles, you can't out-talent them. That's just the fact. That's just the fact of the matter. As we've seen North Shore and Duncanville and company, they reload every year. It's the little things that differentiate. Having a quarterback that has that experience. And this is pretty much probably arguably the most important game in the young career of Westfield quarterback Miles Dent. You get to see one of the most stifling defenses in the state, probably even the country, at least one of them. So that only helps you in a pretty difficult district if you want to get deep within playoff rounds with the Duncanvilles and the DeSotos and the Mansfields and such. So especially on the Westfield side, games like this are surely important, especially early on in the season. They're 23rd in the state for a reason, as going back in at quarterback is going to be Ashton Steen, as he gets brought back behind the line of scrimmage to make it 3rd down and long.
And if you notice at North Shore, seem like they got their backups in, and they're still playing hard. And still, it's not like when Westfield has their backup, most of their backups in as well. But you still see North Shore still playing like they have their first team in there, and that's a sign of a championship team. And that's why they get to that level every year, because they have depth and they have talent, and they're also going to be well coached.
They're also all going to be competitive, both of these teams. Even with North Shore holding the 45-9 advantage, both of these teams still pretty much playing as hard as they did to start off the game. Here Steen takes a shotgun snap. It's going to be a handoff up the middle. Flag is thrown at about the line of scrimmage, and barring this penalty, that might be a gain of about 1 or 2. Very short gain. Carry was given to Paul Swayzer, getting his first carries of the game. As it seems, it might be a possible holding call looking at the replay. That might be a holding call against Sebastian Dawkins, the offensive lineman.
In closing, thank you again for exposure you give to Spring ISD and to the Spring ISD teams, and also to the Houston area teams, and also what you've done for our organization. And you're welcome here anytime. I hope you'd like to say, hope the hospitality was good, and you do a great job of giving exposure. You do a great job of announcing the game as well, Jared. I just want to tell you that.
Well, Coach, we greatly appreciate not only Spring ISD, but the Coach Association for always being proud partners of the Antler Sports Network. As the pass falls incomplete, again, want to give a brief reminder of some of the Hispanic Texas High School Football Coaches Association games of the week we have scheduled on October 5th. That is a Thursday. Newman Smith will be hosting the Bison of Dallas Sunset High School. We'll head to San Antonio for the very first time as we get ready for this 4th down and 8 play. On October 20th, we'll be heading to the Alamo City and Alamo Stadium as Coach Tony Manning leads his first-year Brackenridge Eagles, the social media director of the association, looking to win his first Antler Sports Network appearance as a head coach against the Hurricanes of Sam Houston. And the final game of the Game of the Week slate, arguably the biggest game of the year on almost anyone's calendar, October 27th as Duncanville takes on DeSoto. Punt time, booming kick, plenty of height, pretty good spin on the ball, takes an awkward bounce, however, rolls to about the 20, and that's where Westfield will place it. And, Coach, it seems like you're just about ready to go. Coach, I want to give you one final handshake and say thank you for having us over once again.
I appreciate you allowing me to do this, and I'll see you again, if not at Tatum for sure, when Duncanville and DeSoto play. And make sure you have a safe trip going to Arkansas tomorrow, and good luck for the rest of the year, and thank you for everything you do for Hispanic Coach Association.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Coach. Of course, as Coach Jacinto alluded to, tomorrow kickoff at about 7 p.m. at Central Time, pregame at about 6:30. We'll be having the Steers of Texas College as they head up north to take on the Bears of the University of Central Arkansas. Audio-only broadcast, that is, on ASN Radio, and we will also have an audio broadcast on ASN2. First down and 10 for North Shore. It's going to be a handoff up the middle yet again. Will be a gain of about 2 with 5:55 and counting remaining. Waiting for the official spot. That's exactly how much they'll give them. That'll make it 2nd down and 8 to go. North Shore looking to finish off this game and go into their bye week with a record of 3-0, a team that scored 713 total points last year, the 11th best scoring team in the state of Texas. Going against, being led onto the field by new head coach Willie Gatson, as Coach Jacinto alluded to earlier in the third quarter. He's a Mustang alum, a North Shore Mustang alum, as the handoff gets stuffed but dragging multiple Westfield defenders to make it probably a loss of 3 into a gain of around 5, and that'll make it third down and around 2 yards to go. A couple of substitutions made by Westfield here. The Mustangs of Westfield, after their respective bye week, will be taking on the Lions of Spring. And after that, we'll be taking on Decaney to finish off the spring sweep. 20 straight seasons of plus 500 football for Westfield, 25 seasons of plus 500 football for North Shore. It's a jet sweep, ball's on the ground. It is picked up by Westfield. Well, maybe not. Officials rule it dead. And fourth down is signaled. And it will indeed be fourth down as we look at the replay here. The shovel pass was bobbled and dropped. Either way, it's going to be punting time for Galena Park North Shore. Barring the result of this game as it stands with 4:17 remaining, the series will go to 6 wins for Westfield and 5 wins for North Shore. Atkins is back deep for Westfield to return the kick. New punter in for Galena Park North Shore is going to be Kamani Hudson. Typically plays defensive back. This will be his first punt of the evening. High snap, snags it with one hand, is going to try to take it himself, and he might get the first down, and he's got room. 35-40, 45-50, crosses midfield, jukes a man, still going, rolls out of bounds, and turns a high snap, snags it with one hand, and pretty much goes half the length of the field, deep into Westfield territory, and a fresh set of downs coming for North Shore. Westfield definitely had enough pressure on him as Malik Cobbs, the linebacker, in on punt coverage, had a pretty good opportunity to get to the North Shore punter, just not able to bring him down in time. So North Shore will take it first down and 10 from the 49-yard line. Williams back in under center. One receiver to the short side of the field, one receiver in the slot. That receiver is Tyler Johnson. It's going to be a handoff up the middle. The back dragging a Westfield defender with him. That'll be a rough 10 yards and a well-earned 10 yards. That carry by North Shore's number 36, Avon Brown. Brown has had a pretty good day running the ball in the latter half of this contest. Moving the chains yet again. On the tackle for Westfield was Jalen Johnson. Johnson, his third tackle of the game, 3:07 and ticking remaining in this one. One more first down could possibly be the final nail in the coffin to seal the Galena Park North Shore win. Here's the first down and 10 snap. It's a handoff to Brown again. He slides through, jumps his way under the pile. It'll get around 5 yards. That'll make it second down and a medium. They spot it as a gain of 4, making it second down and 6. Pretty big pickup for him there. Great job by Brown to make something out of nothing. 2:25 and counting. 23 seconds on the play clock. North Shore approaching the line of scrimmage. Second down and 6. 2:07 remaining. 4 seconds on the play clock. Now it's a handoff. New running back in yet again. This time it's going to be back on the field, but gets brought down after a gain of around 2. tackle is going to be made by North Shore's Howard Ford. That's his 4th tackle of the game. No, they're going to give him no gain on the Zuniga run and make it 3rd down and 4. Minute 37 remaining in this one. Again, a 4th down could probably seal it here for Galena Park North Shore, making their record at 3-0. As of right now, currently of the latest AP State Texas high school football rankings, the number 2 team in all the land, only team ahead of them, the Duncanville Panthers. Minute 16 and counting. It's going to be a quarterback keeper to the outside, has a block, but eventually gets spun down. On the run was Joshua Williams, still in at quarterback. Tackle for Westfield made by Lathan Fletcher. And that'll move the chains and possibly put this game officially out of reach. After the pull from Williams, the gain of around 6 as we cross within the final minute of the contest. Current score, 45-9 in favor of Galena Park North Shore. With 18 seconds and ticking on the play clock now. One second on the play clock, and it looks like a timeout will be called unless they'll just take the delay of game penalty. It will be a timeout. North Shore takes their first timeout of the second half. It will take it with them. Back in 30 seconds. This is Texas High School Football on the Antler Sports Network, ASN Radio, and ASN2, brought to you by East Texas Benefits. Local knowledge you can trust.
Find your support system. At Texas Wesleyan, you'll get the one-on-one attention you need to succeed. Texas Wesleyan, small classes, big scholarships. Now that's smaller, smarter.
One final knee was taken, and the game is officially over. Your final score from Planet Ford Stadium here in Spring. Galena Park North Shore 45, Spring Westfield 9. We'd like to thank you for tuning in to this broadcast of Texas High School Football on the Antler Sports Network. Remember to tune in tomorrow at around 7 p.m. on ASN2 and ASN Radio for a presentation of college football as the Texas College Steers will be taking on the hosting Bears of the University of Central Arkansas. Want to once again thank you all for joining us on this Texas high school football broadcast. Galena Park North Shore taking the win handily 45-9. For Armando Jacinto, for our executive producer Justin Jackson, for broadcast director and also our head writer Nick Jordan, saying so long everybody. Once again, our final score, Galena Park North Shore, number 2, 45, the 23rd ranked Mustangs of Spring Westfield 9. Until tomorrow evening, so long everybody.